Even 100% plaque-free at 4 months. Skyrizzy is just 4 doses a year after 2 starter doses.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizzy. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Thanks to Skyrizzy, there's nothing on my skin. And that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizzy, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizzy.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZZY to learn more.
Planet Fitness has everything you need, anytime the motivation hits. So you can give everything you've got. With most clubs open 24 hours, you've got access to our best-in-class equipment to tackle early morning reps, late-night miles, and every workout in between. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends February 27th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Have you tried my Colombian tamales?
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are way better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt, tamales deserve Pepsi. No matter what tamales you love, enter for a chance to win a year's worth of groceries. Powered by Pepsi. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or over. Ends April 5th, 2026. Rules at pepsipromo.com/free groceries. Pepsi is a registered trademark of Pepsi Going.
The winter service event is on at Maida Subaru. Now is the time to let Maida Subaru get your Subaru road ready for the winter weather with exceptional savings on tires, brakes, wiper blades, and more. See all the service specials at maidasubaru.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Granger. Granger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
This is the Drive, baby!
The Drive Guys, Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles. It's drive time with the Drive Guys.
All right, we got a show to do. Oh, the last show's still hanging around, lingering. Loitering. Yeah.
Goodness gracious.
What do you make of that breaking news, Alan? This hour, the news that Domantas Sabonis, I think you're the one that shared it with me.
Yeah.
Done for the season, meniscus surgery.
Well, it's always interesting when it just feels like stuff was snuck in there, right? I mean, we really didn't know what was going on. And honestly, the Digital Boys, the group chat started popping off. And I looked and I saw Brendan Nunez's tweet that had a laundry list of updates from the Kings, including Dylan Cardwell out for 4 weeks.
Sprained his ankle yesterday, right?
And they kind of sprinkled in the Domantas Sabonis news amongst all of that. Hey, DeAndre Hunter is on the way back. Same with Keegan Murray. Oh, also, Domantas Sabonis is shut down for the rest of the season. So it kind of snuck up on us. This was 52 minutes ago. Sacramento Kings star Domantas Sabonis underwent season-ending surgery on Wednesday morning to repair the torn meniscus in his left knee, sources tell ESPN. Sabonis rehabbed the meniscus tear during the season and tried to play through the injury before having surgery now.
Mm-hmm. And also, I know it's Zach LaVine's story is quote-unquote old news, but he had the surgery today as well, right? According to reports.
Well, yes, and Sham says he quote tweets 5 minutes later, meanwhile, Kings guard Zach LaVine is currently undergoing season-ending surgery to repair a tendon injury in his hand. So I don't know if Shams literally meant I got a text saying that he's in surgery right now. I don't know that I've ever heard anything quite like that. We hear, hey, it went well, or hey, he's about to go and have the surgery. But hey, Zach LaVine is getting cut up right now.
Yeah. And then the bizarre thing, as we said on the crossover, or as I said, typically that's terrible news. Oh, this season the Kings are cursed. But this season is so weird that big picture, it actually makes things easier for them.
It does.
In a way.
It does. I mean, we've kind of gone back and forth on the idea that not necessarily that somebody doesn't need surgery or does need surgery, but with how things have changed here within the last couple weeks and the emphasis on tanking and some of the fines that are coming out. Certain teams are making decisions, and teams and players are making decisions on how they want to move forward. So I would imagine, Whitey, that this won't be, not necessarily with the Kings, but I would imagine that we'll see more stuff like this come out where we saw it with, I know Jaren Jackson was a bit of a different situation, but teams just making decisions. If they were in contention, maybe they would behave one way. If they're not in contention, maybe they behave a different way.
Yeah, the thing I wonder about with Domas is whether he knew at the time that he was going to need surgery on it, but figured, I might get traded, I can play through it, then I'll have the surgery, or if it wasn't responding to the treatment and it didn't hold up well when he played, and then the decision was made, we'll get it operated on. I don't know that it matters one way or the other, but I'm curious how he ended up at this point. Or was it just, you know what? Yeah, this season for me is pretty much over anyway. Let's just have it done now.
Yeah, and the comparison that I used was De'Aaron Fox with the Spurs. He had a finger situation. I don't know if it was similar to Zach LaVine, but possibly similar situation. Once it was clear the Spurs, I think they maybe could have made a push for the 10 or something like that, but once it was clear that it wasn't going in that direction, I think Wemby was hurt too. They decided, all right, De'Aaron, let's just shut you down. So that is the same thought process.
Which also helped them in the big lottery picture too.
And then they go get Dylan Harper. Exactly. It all makes sense. We wish them well. I want to know, Whitey, and we haven't seen a ton of this come out yet, how long these guys are going to be out, because some of these conversations, the difference between some of the showcasing notes that we've said before is you can get back during the season and you can just get back into it. I know people have kind of maybe downplayed how much that matters, but you come back in the summer and it's a meniscus, a team that might be interested, whether it's the Raptors or somebody else, I wonder how open they would be to making a trade with Domantas Sabonis coming off of a surgery.
Yeah, I have to think, and obviously I have no real information on what the state of his knee is, but if he didn't have surgery initially and decided he was going to just rest it, then that tells me it probably wasn't too bad. And so maybe it got worse, but if it didn't and they're having surgery, I have to think, based on limited information, that the prognosis is going to be excellent.
Yes, yeah. And the hope is, not to put a timeline on it, but in the offseason, we will hear that he is back. There will be no conversations about being ready for the 2026, 2027.
It all depends with the meniscus, how big is the tear, but like I say, if he was able to play through it, which we saw, then unless he somehow made it worse, which as far as we know that didn't happen, then he should be in pretty good shape. Zach LaVine with a pinky finger, obviously that's something a basketball player needs to get taken care of, but I can't imagine that it's, again, I would think the prognosis is very favorable.
Yeah, so both of those guys, we could probably have the conversation, and we'll have plenty of time to have it. Both of those guys, I think the question is, who do we see in a Kings jersey again going into next season? That's just the initial thought that I had. Obviously, they're both on contracts that aren't the prettiest in the world, so my initial thought is we'll see both of them, at least for the start, but we'll see how this summer progresses and, what happens. There's going to be other injuries and how teams look at the next season and make their moves from there.
So it looks like Keegan's very close to coming back, and it looks like DeAndre Hunter also is very close to coming back. So that matters, doesn't it? Just a chance to see them play a little bit together?
Yes, and I don't know what to make of this season with Keegan, because he's going to come back, and if he doesn't shoot the ball well, people are going to say, see, he's not a three-point guy anymore, but he obviously hasn't played all season. That's not Keegan's fault, but I can understand how fans do want to see him return back. So I think it's going to be a really tough spot for Keegan, but as I've said before, I think it's incredibly important for him from a career perspective to get back out there and at least get 25 games of just some D'Angelo Russell free basketball.
Well, it's very difficult for everybody associated with it right now because it's so murky. When are they going to try to be good again?
Yeah.
Somebody like Keegan, all right, he'll be ready to go next year. All right, but what's next year going to be about? We don't know. Nobody knows, because a lot of that depends on who you get in the draft and how good they end up being. So it's just a lot of, we don't know yet.
Yeah. The whole season, Keegan's season was stolen from him by injuries. That is a tough spot because this was a year where the Kings, obviously, his extension doesn't kick in yet. So it was a cheaper contract. He's still on the rookie deal. Now, going into next season, that's the big bucks. But essentially, you could look at this from a development perspective and think, I mean, Whitey, it's dang near like a redshirt year at this point. And even if he gets those 25 games, half of it is just going to be getting his sea legs under him. So next season is going to be, I think, a huge deal for Keegan Murray. Real quick, Brandon Nunez is about to join us in about 5 minutes. Per the Kings, this is what Brendan said. This is a lay of the land with everything. Domantas Sabonis had successful surgery, as we mentioned, to repair that partial meniscus tear. They also confirmed that Zach LaVine is in surgery. So I think maybe that's where Shams got it from as well, to repair that right.
Well, they're taking their time on that.
Yeah, I mean, it's still going, that right fifth finger. Dylan Cardwell, this is the news as far as the future is concerned. That's a bit tough to hear. Dylan Cardwell sprained his left ankle yesterday. Oh, you're thinking not that big of a deal. He will be reevaluated in 4 weeks.
4 weeks is a long time.
It's a lot of basketball to miss. I mean, there's only a couple months left here. DeAndre Hunter's status will be determined soon. He was a full participant in today's practice.
And that's the eye, right?
That's the eye, the bleedy eye. And last but not least, Keegan Murray was also a full participant and is expected to play tomorrow. So amongst a lot of bad news, we will get to see Keegan and DeAndre Hunter at some point, as you mentioned.
So one of the questions we have to ask here, although, again, the answer is unknowable right now, is has Domantas Sabonis played his last game as a Sacramento King? I have to think that they would love, they being the organization, they would love for that to be the case. They would love to be able to move off of him to get something of value. But again, they just don't know if they'll be able to do that.
No. And I do think they'll be able to sell Domantas Sabonis in a way where people aren't worried about his health.
Yeah, I agree.
But he was already in a tough spot because people just don't like that contract. And at this point now, what? He'll be going in, he'll have, is it 2 years left or he'll still have 3 years left? I think it's, why do I feel like it's still 3 years left?
I thought it was 2, but I'd have to double check.
Yeah, so you're correct. Once this season ends, going into this summer, he will legitimately have 2 years left, which we've gone back and forth on this. I do think it makes him more desirable to move. The counter position on that is I don't know what type of price tag or what the value would be when you get it back. So, or who you would get back if you did that deal. So I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, but if you are the Raptors and that sticking point was the first round pick,
I'm still not sure they ever really wanted him.
I think
a lot of that was driven by the Sacramento side of it.
You're probably right. And I do think RJ Barrett was just as important in that deal as Domantas Sabonis was. But you look at it like this, Whitey, 1 year less of control, right? Versus 1 year less of control as far as the money on the books. Does that make you more likely to give a first round pick or less likely? I feel like the Raptors can look at it either way and say, and kind of, if you're the Kings, be annoyed by it and say, well, we're not giving you a first-round pick because that's a lot of money. Okay, now he only has 2 years left. Well, now we only have 2 years left with him, and we don't want to give him an extension, so now we can't give you a first-round pick. So I don't know what's going to happen.
I think it's going to be tough to get a first-rounder.
You think
I think we saw that at the deadline this year.
So you think the chances of getting a first-rounder were better with the 3 years left, or this season, if you will?
Yeah, but again, we know that we know a first was offered by Washington, right? But we don't know what kind of first it was.
Yeah, it sounds like it was a bad first.
Could have been way down the road. You know, it could have been 2037 protected 1 through 28.
Exactly.
We just don't know.
The last pick in the first round, maybe.
Yeah.
So those are the updates. And
I do think Zach LaVine is probably going to be back next year. I have a hard time imagining anybody this offseason going, I've been thinking about that a lot today. I didn't know today was going to be the day he had the surgery. It's a good question. Why hasn't he helped teams more? And I don't ask that to pile on him, but you look at his numbers, that there are things that he does well consistently, and yet his teams have not been very good. And yet, a lot of times the numbers suggest his teams have been better without him on the floor. And I know it's easy to say, well, that's because he doesn't do this, he doesn't defend, blah, blah, blah. But he is a player who gives you important things consistently. So to me, it's just kind of a mystery, Alan.
When you watch him, though, even the eye test, it's hard to really decipher who he is and what he's bringing to the table. When you watch certain scores, even DeMar is easier to diagnose. He's going to go into his office, and either you like that for your team or you don't. But Zach LaVine, sometimes, Whitey, Zach LaVine, it's funny that they were both on the Timberwolves. In a weird way, I feel like Zach LaVine is a cousin of Andrew Wiggins in a different way. Because sometimes you'll watch Zach LaVine, and he's got every shot in the book. He gets to the rim when he wants.
Cat has a little of that in him, too.
And Cat, too.
They were
all
big three.
Timberwolves, you know? And you look at Zach LaVine, and sometimes he just gets to the rack whenever he wants. And I've thought to myself, why doesn't he drive more? Obviously, he still has that explosiveness. And you got Draper, Flight 8 taking off. I mean, we could be hearing that way more, and you just don't see it. And then you see him, obviously he's a three-point shooter, but he doesn't really create for himself. It's not confusing.
He's not a good defender. I know that. He doesn't rebound, but he's a deadly shooter.
Yeah.
And consistently, his teams that he's on underperform. And sometimes I wonder if some of it might be just trying to figure it out and give him the benefit of the doubt, if perhaps the bad teams are dragging him down.
Yeah.
In some cases. Anyway, we got your buddy on.
Brendan?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Nice enough to join us. Well, you call him one of the digital boys, right?
Yeah, the digital boys.
Yeah, Brendan Nunes, Sactown Sports. What's going on, Brendan? Thanks for joining us. Surprising news today, huh?
A little bit. Most surprising might be that I'm only Alan's buddy. We're not friends, buddy, or what?
Wow. We go beyond that. You and Alan are buddies. You and I are,
okay.
You know, it goes deeper than that.
That's
you know
right.
that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot going on. You guys went through the laundry list a little bit to start the show off, but certainly a lot of updates. And interesting timing to get the Shams tweet in the middle of us talking to Doug Christie there. But
yeah, describe that. If you could describe how that went a little bit for us, Brendan.
Well, you know, a lot of us got the Shams notifications on our phones, and admittedly, I go do not disturb when I'm at these practices, so you just start to see everybody else looking at their phone. I'm like, what's going on? I kind of peek over at Deuce Mason's phone. I'm like, that's a big picture of Domantas Sabonis, and sure enough, get a peep of what's going on, and obviously Doug was already aware, addressed that Domas would be out for the year, and that Zach would be out for the year as well, which was kind of interesting because at that point we heard from the Kings right afterwards, but there had been no reporting on their side after the Chris Haynes breaking the news that he would be out for the year. So this was the first that we had heard from the Kings of that being confirmed, which up until that point I thought was a little bit interesting and curious coming into the day. But yeah, for the most part, you know, Doug just sort of doing the typical coach speak. It sucks for those guys to not be out there with how hard they work, and now it's going to be up, next man up mentality. But some of these young guys are going to get the chance to close out games, and Keegan Murray coming back specifically was talking about wanting to be a closer. So I do think as much as, you know, losing games plays into their benefit with staying in that one spot and not being able to drop a little fifth in the lottery, being competitive in these games does matter for these players.
Brendan, the Domantas Sabonis piece, I know you said it was a bit surprising. Just throughout your time with the sitting one game and he wasn't playing certain fourth quarters or not a lot of fourth quarters, how surprised are you? And going back to some of the situations we've seen with, let's call it De'Aaron Fox last season, once the Spurs were a bit out of it, how much of this do you think this could be the Kings situationally versus Domantas Sabonis really needing to get this taken care of?
I mean, it's a combination of both, right? Like you guys said, anytime you got to go under the knife, obviously it's something serious. And I think that's typically the case when you have a meniscus injury, even the partial tear that he had going on. But as we know, I mean, he's a guy that likes to play through injuries. And I think you saw him try to do that throughout times this season. This is me just speculating, but I would imagine that if they were actually in the playoff hunt, that this probably could be something you could do in the off season instead. But it makes sense that this is the time of year to do it. You know, I had some conversations with people among the organization of hoping he would be back at times earlier this season around sort of trade deadline time, because, again, I think there's value of being competitive in these games, and getting a guy like Keegan Murray and Nee Clifford reps alongside Sabonis, I think does help for their development and their long-term outcomes. But so a little bit surprising, I guess, but at the same time, when you're the worst team in the NBA, you're seeing other teams do this. Like, would Jaren Jackson Jr. have been done for the year if Utah was actually competing? So I thought that we might see him again this year, but also, like I said, I think this is the time of year to do these sort of things, him and Zach being the same as well.
Just one more on the Domantas Sabonis piece, Brendan. Not sure if you heard the recovery time, because when you mentioned a good time to do it, I wonder, is this a good time to do it so that he would definitely be healthy in the offseason for possible trade conversations, or am I looking too deep into it?
Yeah, I mean, I think the fact that there were teams interested in him and playoff contenders, specifically when it comes to Toronto more so than the Washington rumors, and there may have been another team out there that was sort of interested in Sabonis. I think that, given that and the partial tear already being a known thing at that point, I'd imagine it's not something that's long-term concerning. I can't say that I've looked at previous partial tears and what that timeline specifically is at this point. There's probably previous reference points we can go back to and find, but I haven't done that up to this point. So I'd imagine it's something that wouldn't really affect his trade value very much, given that it was already known when they were having those conversations around the deadline.
Yeah, I would think so also, Brendan. And it's impossible because, no tears are the same. And it sounds like it's a lesser tear, which is good. But as you say, we really don't know. I want to ask you, though, about potentially some somewhat better news. Where are the Kings with Keegan and DeAndre Hunter actually getting back on the floor?
Yeah, I think they're excited about the pairing of those guys. When DeAndre Hunter was acquired, that was a lot of what was mentioned, is having 2 6'8" guys out there with a little bit of switchability. And gosh, I mean, you guys know how much the Kings have lacked wings and forwards with size and versatility on both ends of the floor. So I think there's some intrigue about what those guys could look like. And specifically Keegan, man, he's a guy that came into the year talking about he wanted to be in the most improved player conversation. And you don't see him talking like that very often. So he mentioned, the rest of this year that he looks forward to being a number 1, number 2 option and being able to put the ball on the deck and create for himself, and specifically to be the closer in some of these games. And I think that, maybe I'm reading the room wrong here, but I think that if it meant winning a couple games because Keegan Murray's hitting some game winners that he's creating off the dribble for himself, I think that'd be a pretty optimistic thing for what that means for his future. So I think there is some excitement about what that pairing could look like, and gives you some time to still build some chemistry for going into next year. Because if they're losing by 20-30 for, 15 of these final 26 games, I think you have a bad taste in your mouth going into next year. And that may be unavoidable at this point, but I do think that if you can just be competitive and, more so that Meat Clifford dropping 30 against the Cavaliers and you narrowly lose that game compared to the Utah, New Orleans 30-point blowouts that we saw leading into the break here.
Brendan, Dylan Cardwell was another name that popped up, and when you're initially reading what happened, you see ankle injury, and you think, okay, well, we'll see Dylan when we see him, and then you see reevaluated in 4 weeks. That's dang near half of what's left of the season, maybe more than that. Can you shed some light into how serious it sounds like it is? I mean, clearly it's pretty deep if he's going to be out for a month.
Yeah, I'd imagine we'll get more specific wording potentially later today or in the coming days. But to me, that sounds like it's probably a grade 2 sort of sprain for Dylan there. And they said that he was getting in some work yesterday with a couple other guys and ended up rolling his ankle. That was prior to us talking, or that was after we had talked to Doug, so didn't really get to ask him about that. And obviously, as you guys know, Doug absolutely loves that guy. So I'd imagine we're just going to see a lot of Maxime Reynaud and maybe some Drew Eubanks here, but definitely sucks to see Dylan go down as one of the brighter spots of this season. And you thought that maybe he could get 20 points for the first time in his basketball career, never having done that high school, college, or anything like that. So definitely disappointing, and just adds to the laundry list of injuries and struggles that they've had throughout this season.
Brendan, thanks. We appreciate it very much. Know you're busy. We look forward to your coverage at SactownSports.com, and we'll talk to you soon. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate it, guys. Headed to this bowling event. About to see who's the best bowler on the Kings. Keegan said he's not very good, which surprises me a little bit.
No, he's just hamming it up. And let me know because I'm challenging one of them mano-y-mano. Thanks, Brendan.
Thank you, Brendan.
Thanks, guys.
So the big news that comes out of this, as far as what has a bearing on the rest of this season, I think, is as we were saying. It's about, I know, no more Domas and no more Zach LaVine. Yeah, but the bigger story, I think, basketball-wise, the rest of this year is Keegan now being the guy again. And how does he respond to that? How do his teammates respond? What does that look like the rest of the way?
That's right. So he's got about a month and a half to rock and roll and really take the bull by the horns. We know.
And already, as you know, I know you can see it too, already we got people, and I get it. We always get it when we talk about Keegan. People going, hey, he's not a number one. He's not our number one.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that Keegan cares what anybody thinks, but I think he cares what he thinks, and I believe he wants to prove some things to himself. And we talked about it a lot in Media Day, and Brendan mentioned it too, because he was really juiced to get out there and kind of show what he could do in a different capacity with De'Aaron gone, with Harrison Barnes gone, and really try to take the reins of the team, and he didn't get that opportunity. But he's going to get, however many games these next couple weeks here, about a month and a half, and we'll see what he can do.
I think a lot of this may hinge on the extent to which Russ says, all right, we're setting him up. He's the guy now. Okay, I'll set him up.
Yeah, and we've already mentioned DeMar DeRozan. He's been doing it. Not to say Russ hasn't, but DeMar DeRozan, you can tell.
Well, he said, this is Keegan's team.
He said it. And at that time, he was still getting to his office pretty often. Right now, DeMar is working from home a good bit. He's not getting into the office as much as he was getting into the office early on the season.
When we come back, more on an eventful day for the Kings. Also, remember our chat yesterday about the NBA's biggest problem? That problem may be getting worse, and we're back with that and more. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
If your passion is bass fishing, only one radio show has the action, information, and excitement of your favorite outdoor sport. Ultimate Bass, hosted by Tournament Bass Pro and California Outdoor Hall of Famer Kip Brown, takes you live to where the fish are biting every Saturday morning. Only Ultimate Bass feeds your passion with the latest news, products, tips, and advice from the pros. Ultimate Bass with Kip Brown, Saturday mornings at 5 a.m. on Sactown Sports 1140, part of SEP's Saturday Morning Outdoors.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Join Sactown Sports downtown before every Kings game and pick up an In-Shape Fitness Kings Rally towel while supplies last. If you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong. Start the year strong and join today at InShape.com.
Hagen Oaks knows you can buy a driver off the shelf anywhere, but Hagen Oaks is the only place where you'll find total game fitting. The Hagen Oaks TrackMan-powered player performance studio fits clubs to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Ball Fitter finds your optimum golf ball. The putter fitting studio makes you a better putter, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds your correct fit. In fact, Hagen Oaks will fit you from head to toe with equipment and apparel to make you the player you want to be. It's total game fitting, and it's only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's TREX.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young, Turnpike Troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line dancing, mechanical bulls, and food trucks. Make it a lucky night out of live country music and dancing for your crew. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Bar None Auction, Sky River Casino, and Trex Decking and Railing. More info at CITPFest.com.
Tune in every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for the Toyota Tahoe Report with Johnny Mosley and me, Elena, bringing you the latest weather conditions up at Tahoe. Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Your business moves fast. Your bank should keep up. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built for momentum with tools that help you manage cash flow, streamline payments, and fuel growth. Right now, there's never been a better time to switch. Open a new Valley Strong business account and get 3 months of business banking products and services free, up to $750 in value to power your next big move. Because when your business runs stronger, the whole Valley does too. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business, grow your future at valleystrong.com/business.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
This is fascinating. I'm not sure I buy into it, but I'm thinking about it. From John Ortiz, talking about Keegan now. Keegan hopefully will be able to find himself as maybe a 1 going forward. John Ortiz in the YouTube chat says, it's the rare player who can find their full potential in Sac. It's the system or lack of it here. Gavin says, haven't had a solid system since Adelman. Yeah, right now I think it's difficult for anybody to find their way because I think there's so much gravity pulling everybody down. Yeah. But that's an interesting thought. We know there's been a lot of dysfunction here over the years.
Yeah. I saw something from our guy, Amid Rock, and he says, I want to see the ball in Keegan's hand more than Neek. I didn't really think about it that way as far as who, and clearly we're, I guess, previewing a segment, but whose development is more important towards the end of the season here, Keegan or Neek? And I think it's a great question because off the top of my head, I feel like you're paying Keegan a lot of money.
Yeah,
I
to
do
me it's
think,
Keegan.
Yeah,
I'm
with
Amadrock on that.
Yeah, I think you'd have to
not just because he's a Vallejo guy.
Well, that too.
That's a big part of it.
I think you would have to prioritize Keegan Murray, and again, just if you're just now joining us, Domantas Sabonis out for the season to pair with Zach LaVine out for the season. 2 surgeries today for the Kings, and they are moving straight. They're on their BART train, Whitey, or their Amtrak train straight to Tankland. And, we hope that it all works out for them. But, yeah, there's no more real question marks about what if they win too many games, unless Keegan really takes a leap. And Neek, I know the end of the season is pretty soft, and we'll go through it as the Kings will get back on the hump tomorrow. But this pretty much makes you feel pretty safe about not dropping out of the 3 worst. I don't know about the worst, but the 3 worst records.
Alan, I got to tell you, I think you'll agree, this is some grade A tanking going on right now.
It is.
If you're going to tank, this is how you do it.
Yes. Yeah, and it's the one thing, again, you need to get surgery, I had to do it for my Achilles. It was, look, you go under the knife,
And nobody does it just, okay, let's do that.
Nobody.
Yeah.
And because of that, you're protected. Adam Silver can't do anything.
Right.
Once you're under that knife, he's got to walk away. It's like when in a scary movie, remember Sinners, and you're running away. They're running away from the vampires.
I didn't see it.
You're running away from the vampires.
There's vampires in it? Oh, thanks.
And all you need to do is make it to sunlight, right? So I'm not calling Adam Silver a vampire, but he's coming to get you. And the surgery is the sunlight, and he's got to run away, and now you're safe.
Speaking of Adam Silver, we've been talking a lot about the biggest problem the NBA has right now because he's been ranting and raving about tanking. And I've suggested there must be bigger problems. Maybe he's trying to distract us from bigger problems. We mentioned yesterday that at the All-Star game, The Athletic polled the All-Stars and asked them, what's the biggest problem the league faces right now? The number one answer was actually player injuries, player participation. I said, remember, Alan, I don't know if you agreed with me. I think the biggest problem is that so many people, a lot of fans, just don't believe the NBA's on the level.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so we had this today. Pablo Torre. Boy, Adam Silver doesn't like him.
No.
I'll tell you that I remember I was at an event and I spoke to two NBA owners. This was the day after the NBA lottery, and those two owners were both like, this was obviously fixed. On Dallas winning the draft lottery. It's not just people on the internet saying, this seems fixed to me. I'm saying literally two NBA owners did not trust the hand of Adam Silver to remain out of the proceedings in terms of rigging the NBA draft lottery, end quote. Now, I'm not saying it's fixed. I'm saying if the perception is so widespread that even a couple of owners think it's fixed, that is a huge problem for the NBA.
That is not good. And not to go on a tangent here, but I do think people are just getting mad at Pablo Torre because they're just wondering, well, what's your end goal? Are you trying to tear down the NBA?
On X, people go, why are you so worried about it?
Right. Well, hey, keep it down because, I mean, are you trying to ruin the league and then you got to start from scratch? But as far as what came out, when I saw that this morning, he's not the person as of right now that's just going to say it willy-nilly. I don't know who those owners are, and I think that his journalistic integrity, he would never say who those owners are. But when you get the tinfoil hat involved, and now, honestly, Whitey, it's a bit similar to your favorite story, the EMF and the substation and all of that. True or not, once it gets legs, people have to answer this stuff. And
like the skeleton key, as we said, once you believe it.
Once you believe it.
Yeah.
And Pablo Torre's saying this stuff when he's essentially the hottest name in sports investigative journalism. It's not going to go away, and we already heard all of the notes about the new ownership and was Dallas going to go to Vegas and these under-the-table agreements. So I don't know what Adam Silver is going to do. It's almost as if it's, again, whack-a-mole, and he's got to whack something, and I don't think the tanking thing is going to make anything else go away.
I agree.
It's going to turn into a situation where you're wondering, okay, what exactly are you going to do about these bigger stories? Hey, thanks for answering that. Very similar to the Tony Vitello thing. Hey, thanks, Tony, for telling us about your departure. Who's the closer for the San Francisco Giants? Mm-hmm. Hey, thanks for this tanking situation in the Utah Jazz and Sacramento Kings, quote-unquote, ruining the NBA. What's going on with this idea of the draft being fixed?
Yeah, well, it's kind of damned if you do and damned if you don't. If you don't say anything, it's like, oh, they won't address it. If you address it, that can't help but give it some legs.
Right.
He's talking about it, so there must be something there.
Yeah.
It's kind of like Kevin Durant.
That's right.
Addressing the accusations or the claims that he has a burner account, and he was asked about it today.
He gets asked about it, and he says, I'm not going to speak on Twitter nonsense, and I do think that's the best way to do it. I'll tell you one thing that I've never agreed with.
Then he said, oh, my teammates know what's up.
Yes, my
to me,
teammates
it was
know what's up.
Almost a confession.
But all these situations are always rough, right? When you get into some form of trouble, whether that be with your parents or with a significant other, whatever it is, people always say, if you're watching a show, a reality show, people always say, well, why are you getting upset if it's not true, right? And I've always disagreed with that personally, because if you say I did something I didn't do, of course I'm going to be upset.
I agree.
So if you're Adam Silver, but again, people also say, well, you shouldn't be upset. So how am I? Hey, Alan, we heard that you blah, 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 blah. And I'm not supposed to be mad. You are saying something negative about my character, but I'm just supposed to, well, it's not true, so it's not that big of a deal, right? So Adam Silver, if he gets upset, people will say, why are you getting upset if it's not true? If he doesn't get upset, people will say, well, shouldn't you be taking this more seriously? So I don't know what he's supposed to do.
Yeah, well, I know Jason Jones has said, we had him on after the lottery. I know he was just on the station, as a matter of fact, with Matt and Kayla. But he has said, look, I've been there. I've seen how they do it. It's not rigged. Mm-hmm. But they don't show it. They need to have it somewhere where people can watch it. And if it's too boring to show on one of your broadcast partners, at least put the video on NBA.com or something. That should be an easy one. Just for anybody who thinks this is fixed, here it is right here.
Right.
But if two owners actually are saying, oh, man, this is rigged, woo! Because I remember the day of the lottery, Kyle Draper and I are sitting here and we were saying, this would really look fixed if Dallas won. And
yeah.
sure enough.
And
like,
sure
whoa,
enough, it happened.
Yeah.
I don't think, to your point, I think you could air it and people would watch.
Maybe.
I do think.
Yeah.
And if not, everything that they just talked about all their content creators, throw it on Twitch, which you seem to be a partner with them, and whatever you want to do, and you can figure it out. The one thing I will say about owners, and that's not to take anything away from them, anybody that works kind of in a business where you have a CEO, things like that, that person isn't that far in the weeds on certain things. I wouldn't even say CEO. I would more so say a founder or somebody like that if they're not the acting CEO and still running it. So I would say this, an owner saying that to me might not be as messed up as it sounds, because some of these owners,
I would agree with that,
aren't necessarily super plugged in. it seems like it was rigged. I'm just a billionaire that has this team. I don't know that they're, and that's why context matters. And I heard the audio of Pablo Torre, and I still feel the same way. A lot of these owners, they're going to say stuff. I don't know that that's law, and I don't know how plugged in they are to everything. They might not even know how the lottery works, Whitey.
Right. I think that's the biggest problem. You could show everything you do and then end up going, oh, look, the Lakers won the lottery, whatever it is. And no matter whether you showed everything and explained it or not, some people would go, I don't understand what they did, but that's clearly rigged. So I don't know. In some ways, that perception is almost impossible to avoid. Mm-hmm. Speaking of the lottery, I saw these odds. I'm not sure these are right. I think they are. But we were talking, Alan, about why do the Kings keep getting the 5th pick in all the simulations you run. Odds Kings land picks 1 through 4, 52%. Odds the Kings land the 5th pick, 48%. So if that's true, I have to double check that. If that's true, then it's no wonder if it's almost 50-50, 1 through 4 as opposed to 5th pick, they're going to end up getting a 5th pick a lot.
But they should end up getting 1 through 4 a lot. That's 50. It's 50-50.
Yeah, but if they get 2 and then they get 5, and then they get 3 and they get 5.
Why are you doing this to me right now?
And then they get 4 and they get 5. Those are even.
Oh, I got 3 today.
Yeah, see? There you go.
But that's because it's listening to me.
But it looks like it's always 5. It's like, no, it's going to be 5 or some combination of the other 4 about evenly.
That's because it's listening to me, so it wanted to throw me off the scent. They're not going to throw me off the scent.
That's got to be it. But again, it gets back to, never mind how you feel about it or what it is. It's the perception of, I'm not sure how this works. Mm-hmm. Therefore, I think it's rigged. Right. We all do that.
Yes.
But it's bad for the league.
They got to show it. And that'll probably be the way, just the same way the Niners are going to find a way to, I think, debunk this EMF thing, the NBA draft, and that's probably what comes out of this. They're going to have to show the actual lottery. Mm-hmm. And we'll be all watching it live from an undisclosed location.
You mentioned the 49ers. Do you want to talk a little 49ers here, or do you want to talk about Mick Cronin next? Which you want to give Mick Cronin. Worst coach ever next on Drive Guy Show, Sactown Sports.
Listen to the #1 sports lineup in Sacramento.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross, Matt George, and Kayla Anderson. The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
Every weekday live and local 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. Online at SactownSports.com or download the app right on your phone. Your #1 source for all your Northern California sports. Sacktown Sports 1140.
Here's the tale of Tina, searching up and down for decent GLP-1s, but got spun around.
Till Good RX wrote in, hey, we got something new. GLP-1 prescriptions, all FDA approved.
Brand name meds, no flags that are red.
Clear pricing from the start. None of those hidden fees in your cart.
Delivered to your door or pick up same day. Darn tootin'.
Save time and money on prescriptions.
Hot foot it to goodrx.com/weight loss. GoodRx is not insurance.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who
own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-292-4541 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-292-4541. That's 800-292-4541. What do you have to lose? Call 800-292-4541. Again, 800-292-4541.
Injured and you're considering an LA law firm looking to charge you 45% to 50% in attorney's fees? That's overcharging. Ashton & Price has been around for over 25 years, and I can tell you no matter how complicated your injury case, you should never be charged 45% or 50% in attorney's fees ever. Direct, experienced, unrelenting, and honest local representation matters. It's called Home Court Advantage for a reason. Ashton & Price serious local attorneys for serious people with serious injuries. So for the best local advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton & Price.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge, Chrysler, Jeep, Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's going on for Ram Truck Month?
Get the new Ram you want at the most affordable price I've seen in years. You can lease a new 2026 Ram 1500 Laramie for as low as $399 a month for 39 months. That's $13,000 off MSRP on a brand new 2026 Ram truck.
Whoa, $399 a month? That feels like it can't be real.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive how we've been able to find all this savings. As a fifth-generation family-owned dealer, our goal has always been, and continues to be, to serve our customers and save them as much as possible.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
13,000 total net savings on select new 2026 Ram 1500 Laramie after 5,000 factory rebate and 7,000 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 2,000 select inventory cash on select inventory, $399 special lease with $29.95 due at signing, plus tax, license fees, and dealer accessories. Must finance through Stellantis. 7,500 miles per year, 30 cents per mile over for well-qualified buyers with 720 plus FICO score. Sample VIN 179-105. MSRP $68,125. See dealer for details.
You remember me from a show called And Joe? I'm back on the radio, Sacramento. It's Joe Mami, and when you need your new country fix, join me weekdays from 6A to 10 for the Pat and Cody with Joe show on New Country 105.1 KNCI or on the free KNCI app.
The Tribe Guys powering your afternoons Monday through Friday on Sactown Sports.
Sabonis done for the year. Surgery to repair his meniscus will leave him sidelined for the rest of the year. We also found out officially Zach LaVine done for the year. So the Kings have not done many things especially well over the years. They are tanking at a very high level right now.
Yes.
So hopefully that will pay off for them. By the way, before we continue, your guy Matt George is turning into Carmichael Dave. He's leaving his
more ways than one
bags of food here.
Yeah.
You see that, Jay?
It's.
I mean, Dave has deluxe whole cashews, and he's got ibuprofen, and he's got little tinker.
It's not even covered.
Yeah.
I don't even know if that's legal.
Right off. And then Matt George has been eating these garden veggie straws, sea salt, and there's some in here. Anybody want any?
No, I think I'm
leaves
solid.
It there. In the Carmichael Dave
My
area.
kid eats the same thing.
Really? You want to take him to her?
No. She'll get him fresh. Yeah. Yeah, I don't understand it, man.
You gotta have some respect. Other people utilize this workspace, am I right?
You got 4 hours to finish your veggie sticks.
Yeah.
And throw them away.
Right.
4 hours.
Yeah, and if you can't finish them in the 4 hours, you got a good 5-6 minutes to throw them away.
Exactly.
Dispose of them properly.
Exactly. Now, Dave, at least he'll leave kind of community stuff, right? A big old bag of trail mix, something that everyone can kind of hop on.
Yes.
You know, I'm not, there you go. What is
deluxe whole cashews?
Yeah, you got cashews.
Oh, you're right. This is trail mix.
Yeah, so Dave will leave that for everyone, snacky, but an individual bag is ridiculous.
Mm. That's unfortunate.
You got to take, hey, that's your seat. I got to deal with Kayla's coffee spills, but That's your seat. So you gotta stand on business, Whitey.
I don't know whether to stand on business by, laying down the law or fighting fire with fire.
What?
Yeah, but then
How
the
you gonna
morning
do
show has
that?
to deal with it. I'll leave some of my own stuff
No,
around.
then that's morning show.
Yeah.
It's like the parking spot thing.
Yeah.
Hey, what did I do? Mm-hmm. But you're mad at Matt.
Well, some of this is morning show stuff.
That's
It's not Jason's
There's always
stuff.
morning show stuff.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. What'd you think of Mick Cronin last night? UCLA coach. Did something I've never seen before. His team getting blown out again. Second straight 20-point plus defeat. Losing at Michigan State. And Mick Cronin ejected one of his own players.
Yeah, so it was a blowout. UCLA was getting smacked.
They were down 77-50 with 4:26 left.
Yeah, and obviously, to add context, he had said, I want them to play more physical a week or so ago. This was not a long time ago, but I guess he meant not like that.
Yeah.
And he ejects his own guy.
Steven Jemerson II, who used to be at Michigan State. He trails Carson Cooper from behind and tries to block his shot from behind on a dunk attempt. Mm-hmm. He gets called for a flagrant. And Mick Cronin says, yeah, you're done.
Yeah.
He thought that, and what did he say? How true toughness is how you compete and how you go to work every day. He's a good kid, made a bad decision. If you want to be a tough guy, you need to do it during the game for a block out, for a rebound. To me, that's admirable that here I am, my team, if I'm the coach, I'm getting the doors blown off, and I got a guy who's still competing. Yeah. I applaud him.
Right. And it wasn't like he swiped somebody in the head or anything like that.
The referees didn't throw him out.
It's interesting with the Kansas State coach getting let go, and he just threw his whole team under the bus. I think these guys need to be very careful, especially with NIL. These kids are maybe more important than you in some situations, and some of the performativeness that we've seen from Mick Cronin, it's just a little much. Let me walk him out as if he's being ejected. It just was a bad look.
He says, I know Steve was trying to block the shot, but the game's a 25-point game. You don't do that. Again, you play the right way no matter what the score is, coach.
So then, so you're literally saying, so why are you even playing? Why is anybody playing if that's how you feel?
Yeah. And then he had a fiery postgame exchange. You had a harder time with the postgame than with throwing his player out?
It was just compounding onto an already bad night. You got smacked. You became performative and threw out your own player. And then the question was about the other
Xavier Booker.
Yes, the other fan base.
Xavier Booker is a Bruin center, and Michigan State fans were chanting his name because he's a former 5-star recruit who signed with Michigan State before transferring to UCLA. And then he scored 2 points. So fans were chanting his name. And a reporter asked Mick Cronin about that chant from the opposing fans, and he didn't appreciate the question.
Student section chanting Booker's name.
I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section.
I just meant the overall the way that you
I would like to give you a kudos for the worst question I've ever been asked.
Did you like
you should take it.
The preparation of the...
You really think I care about the other team's
No, I don't
section?
think you care about the other
Are you raising your voice at me?
No, I'm just...
Yeah, you are. Yeah, you are. Come on, dude.
I'm not raising
Come on. Yes, you are. Everybody's standing here listening to you. Everybody. This is on camera. They can hear you. I answered the question. I could give a rat's ass about the other team's student section. I coach UCLA. I don't care about Michigan State students. I mean, who cares?
Wow. Are you raising your voice to me?
I got to tell.
That's bizarre.
I got to say something, Whitey, because I always stand up for my guys, my Kyler Murrays, my Kevin Harts, my Tom Cruises, the Zonts of the world. Our Zont Kings. This is a bad look for the Zonts.
Yeah.
Mick Cronin, 5'7", the Napoleon complex jokes were off the chain last night, and all I could do is wear it, Whitey. It's a bad look for the community. Terrible look for the community right here, Mick.
I hadn't seen it that way. I understand what you're saying.
A lot of people look at this bitter little man. It was a bad night for me.
Yeah.
Mick, we got to be better. We got to be, not you. It's not just for you. It's for all of us out here. Because it was bad. I mean, he was clearly trying to use and I couldn't see the reporter's face, sounded
No.
young-ish.
Right.
Felt like he clearly was using his power and saying, it's so funny when someone says, everyone's standing here listening to you. Meanwhile, Mick is getting torched on social media thinking, dude, nobody is agreeing with you, Mick. I mean, are you raising your voice at me? It just was an awful, awful, awful look, man. You need to worry about not getting blown out, Mick.
Yeah, that was terrible, but I think throwing out your own player is worse. You want to respect the game, but more than that, you want to respect your own player.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
It was a bad night.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't want to say career-altering night. I don't think they're going to move on from him.
He had
but
a short temper.
Hey, what are you gonna? I gotta wear it. It's a terrible look. I need Tom Holland to come out with another Spider-Man or something to get us back on track here. Because Mick just set back the community a good 3 years with that. Cannot happen, Mick.
I think San Diego just got rid of Steve Lavin. Go get him.
We'll take it.
Bring him back.
We'll take it. Because I'm double checking here. They are UCLA they're 17-9. Obviously, they're going to make the tournament, but they're not going to be a crazy seed, anything like that. They lost 82-59.
Yeah, they had won 5 of 6 according to ESPN.com.
The funniest thing is when you say something, because I've been in this situation when you're trying to, not to say that I've acted like Mick Cronin, but you're clearly annoyed and you want someone to feel something, but then they don't. So then you got to double down because Mick had said, hey, that was his big quip, right? That was the dumbest question I've heard. Then the reporter says, I'll take it. So then Mick stops listening to the other question and goes back to the well. You should. Yeah. And then goes back again. And then the guy has no choice but to respond. And then Mick says, are you raising your voice
like
at
you said,
me?
it sounded like a younger kid.
Yeah.
He was kind of like, oh, wait, hey, are you raising your voice to me?
Yeah. Bad.
Tom Izzo, by the way, when he was asked about Cronin throwing out his own player, he said, I guess he upgraded that to a flagrant 2, huh?
Yeah, I saw that. I saw the whole, and he said, hey, Mick's going to be Mick.
Yeah, he'll get that straightened out. Terrible.
Well, what's Izzo supposed to say? You know, Izzo saying, that's not my problem.
I don't think what he said was terrible.
Right. Izzo's thinking, that is not my problem.
Right.
You know, but it was clearly Mick's.
Yeah.
You should take that. You should. Are you raising your voice at me? That was insane. That's just compounding a bad night, Mick.
Yeah.
Take a lap.
You should never throw out your own player. If I really thought long and hard about it, maybe I could come up with some things that you should throw your own player out about. But, other than something that's criminal, you can't send your own player out. Especially a guy who's playing hard. That's the thing that kills me.
Yeah.
He's competing.
I think the reason is worse than, I guess, actually doing it. He was, when you watch the play, it doesn't look egregious or anything like that. And, and what are you trying to show them? Hey, guys, don't play that hard when we're down a lot.
Terrible.
If he was fighting with his own team, Whitey, that's what I would say. If he was getting disrespectful with the coach or with the player, get him out of there. But something like that, it's the Mick show. I don't know what it is. What is it with these guys, right? They're overcompensating? It's the Mick show, man.
When we come back, the Kings are staring down the barrel of the longest losing streak in franchise history. How much does that actually matter? Next, Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Granger. Granger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Build your team, build it sooner. Need your match on ZipRecruiter.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Need to hire right away. Start your search for strong candidates. The right fit awaits. All your roles, fill them sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free, and you're on your way to meeting your match. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So try it now. Go to ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
Hey there, Mark and Tom, the travel and entertainment guys, brought to you by Sports Leisure Vacations. Time for our weekly travel tip. And with it, here's Mark Hoffman.
With word that Amtrak will have new, modern equipment on its Cascades trains up north, I have a solid travel tip for you. Consider taking the train on your next adventure. You won't pay hundreds of dollars for extra legroom, and you will be able to see the sights. From Sacramento, the Coast Starlight will take you north or south. The California Zephyr can take you to Chicago and all points east. Tired of fighting the traffic to San Francisco or San Jose? The Capital Corridor trains will get you there without traffic or parking fees. This tour operator is already working on a trip that flies to Eugene and then takes the new Cascades train to Seattle and perhaps on to Vancouver. If you're okay with slowing down your travels, perhaps Amtrak is the answer.
More tips to make you a smarter traveler Saturdays at 11 a.m. right here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sactown Sports 1140.
Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason.
On Sacktown Sports 1140.
Thank you, Jay, for potting that down when they gave Alex a name. I
It
think
was
that
my
an
accident. I was trying to work 3 carts at one time.
I loved it. I think you could do it every time, don't you, Alan?
It's funny that you bring that up because I'm trying to figure out who I'm doing my taxes with, and I was supposed to meet
Well, that's
with,
an endorsement waiting to happen right there. Seriously.
You would think.
Seriously.
You would think. So I'm supposed to meet with someone today. I end up not hearing anything, no email, no nothing. Long story short, I call, you know me, I'm ticked off. Now I'm Mick Cronin. Now I'm ticked off now because, hey, I have this, the meeting was at 12. I don't hear anything. Long story short, they read back the email to me, my email, after talking to 3 different people. They spelled it ALEN. So that's why I didn't get any of the information. And I'm here, Mick Cronin, to this old lady. Hey, what's the deal here? I'm running out of time. I got to get in. And it turns out they had my name spelled wrong. So I rescheduled. And then when they sent me the email, hi, Alan, we're excited to see you tomorrow, ALEN.
Wow. So you're going there?
A different location.
If they can't spell your name right,
A different
you want to trust
location.
them with your taxes?
A different location.
Somebody who's bringing in as much bank as you
Well,
are?
It's a
This
lot
is
of
gonna
brackets.
Be a complicated
That's
return.
right. There's a lot of paperwork.
I got my River Cat stuff. I got my stuff from the station here.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's a lot. Yeah. It's a
podcast income.
It's a tough job. So I'm going to a different branch, though. I'm not going to that branch. You can't.
I bet you Compio would do it for you.
Jay's getting in my ear saying
That's
some
right.
funny
You
stuff.
did. You hosted the parade. The
That's
Santa
right.
Parade.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
And this was a quieter year for me.
Mr. Styles' time is not free.
No, I got 7 W-2s. So we got to get this
understand
figured
all
out.
that. And I ask you respectfully, are you sure you want to have your taxes done by a company that can't spell your name?
We're just meeting. Now I'm just getting the meeting. And they're lucky I'm still getting the meeting.
They are.
Yeah. They're lucky that they're still getting the meeting.
You're pushing it.
I know. If this meeting doesn't go well, I'm a free agent. Anybody out there, I'm a free agent. I got my properties. I got a lot.
Who spells it A-L-E-N, by
Nobody.
the way? There's lots of
Oh,
ways.
yeah. Alan Smilegeach. That's the only one I know. That's the only one I know. Warriors legend, Alan Smilegeach.
You know, he's a really there's a lesson there with him, because that year the Warriors went 15-50. They were dreadful, but he would play some and people would go, "There's the future."
Yep.
Same thing with, I know I've mentioned him before, Eric Paschall, I think, was second-team All-Rookie that year. It's like, oh, well, there you got it. Look at that.
Right.
It's about developing players, and you got a really good player there. And after that year, he was pretty much done. And it's just in that environment of a really bad team, it's hard to tell what's really going on sometimes.
Are you leading me to the water on purpose here? Because clearly you're trying to bait me into the young guys from the Kings.
Oh, I hadn't even thought of it that way.
You're literally describing the current situation with the Kings.
No, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's just hard to tell sometimes.
That's always
what's
been
really
my
going
thought
on.
process, and I thought I was being a hater because I can't tell the difference. The only thing with the Eric Paschall, because Alan Smilegeach, we're not going to waste our time, but an Eric Paschall thing, I guess your question always was, well, who are you going to be? Are you going, because he was kind of a tweener. Who are you going to be?
Right.
If you're just now joining us, Dylan Cardwell out for the next 4 weeks, along with Domantas Sabonis out for the season and Zach LaVine out for the season. Both of them got surgery today. So Dylan Cardwell, I would at least say we know who he's going to be, right? A defensive guy
Who
that
can rebound.
that hopefully can get a little bit more offensive savvy. I think a bigger question having that conversation would honestly, Whitey, be Maxime Reynaud. I'm more sure about what Dylan Cardwell will be in the league than Maxime Reynaud. Maxime Reynaud.
That's a tricky one.
Maxime Reynaud, I'm not putting in the Eric Paschall category, but he's more in that category than Dylan Cardwell to me.
He's not in that category in these senses. He's got legitimate size, and he has skills as a post player. He's got offensive skills.
Yeah.
And that's legit. We know that. We don't know how that translates, but that's not really a tweener. In what sense do you see Maxime as a tweener?
Well, I'll tell you this much. The idea that he was going to be able to stretch the floor, don't get me started.
Work in progress.
Well, yeah.
Fair point.
And
but
maybe
work in
it'll come back
progress.
around because I don't remember Donovan Clingan shooting threes at UConn, or else I would have been all over him. I saw Zach Edey shooting threes, so maybe it's just going to take some time to work on it. But if it doesn't happen, even Şengün, but if it doesn't happen, now you have a guy who isn't really a shot blocker, who offensively is nice, but is more traditional as far as who he is as a center. So I think it would, maybe limit him. Who are we looking at? Would you call Zubac a rim protector? Probably not.
Zubac is much more physical,
Okay.
So he's not that.
Again, we're eliminating. I'm not coming at Maxime. I'm saying if he doesn't get that three ball in some capacity, it
He has to get bigger and stronger.
It changes his ceiling a little bit.
Yeah. But I think he's going to be in the league a long time. How good is he going to be? Is he going to be a rotational player on a good team? I don't know, but he has a chance.
So,
whereas Eric Paschall was really good on a bad team, and after that, he just didn't have much to offer any teams. I think he played for Utah a couple years, and that was that.
Yeah.
A really good college player.
I think wasn't it something where he was close with Donovan Mitchell, and when they would play each other, it was, oh, look, both those guys are going to do it.
Yeah.
One guy's going to do it. I don't know about both of them. Would it be disrespectful to say that the career path of Drew Eubanks is on the table for Maxime Reynaud?
No. I mean, it would. I don't think it'd be disrespectful, but I think it's wrong.
Okay.
Because Eubanks, I think, one thing is, first of all, he's smaller.
Yes.
But he's more physical.
Yeah.
And he's more of a do the dirty work guy. And I don't think Maxime's ever going to be that, put him in and he'll do all the dirty work.
I'm just trying to figure out.
I think it'll be, we need him to do more of the dirty work.
Yeah. I'm just trying to figure out the line when we say, or when you say he's going to be an NBA guy, but what level? So I'm just trying to figure out, how far.
Yeah.
How far?
You're into comps. I get it. You're into comps.
No, I'm just saying how small of a level, or what's the lowest level you'd feel comfortable
He's
saying.
a legit 7-footer, right? I believe he is.
I think so. I mean, when we saw Drew Eubanks no shade. We were talking about Mick Cronin, so I'm not talking. But when we talked to Drew Eubanks and he got up at media day, I did think he would be taller. Just in my mind, when I think
like
center,
6'9" or something.
Yeah, when I think center, when he walked over to us, I thought, oh, he's like, doesn't look like, oh my goodness, this is a man amongst boys. I mean, to us, sure, but not to the other players.
Mm-hmm. The Kings are staring down the barrel of the longest losing streak in franchise history, 14 straight losses. That ties the all-time franchise record. We're talking Cincinnati. We're talking, Rochester, Kansas City, Omaha. So tomorrow, if they lose, that would be the longest losing streak in franchise history. Does that matter? It doesn't, typically there'd be, oh no, and fans just aren't looking at it that way, I don't think. And I'm, given what's at stake this year and what they're really trying to accomplish, I don't think fans are as concerned about it.
I don't think they are.
And I don't
either.
think they really need to be.
No.
Again, it speaks to how weird this whole year is.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong, where we're currently at, because the Kings do have the worst record right now, the odds are not, these are the odds. If the season ended today, this is what it would be, right? It ain't getting better than the 50-50. That's what it is. That's what you signed up for. That's your
prize.
prize.
If you have the worst record?
Yes.
Yeah.
That is your prize. So to me, it's almost as if it depends what happens next. If you end up getting the 5th seed or the 5th pick and Kingston Flemings is fine, a lot of people, Whitey, I did see a lot of people think Kingston Flemings has some bust capability just because he's, not a small guard, but he's not the biggest guy in the world. So a lot of people are worried about that. I think you would look back and say, man, we embarrassed ourselves for the 5th pick, right? And I think you would retroactively look at it like that, but I don't think you're asking me about retroactively. Right now, nobody cares.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anybody cares. I mean, maybe Sarah, our famous caller, but I don't think a lot of people care.
Yeah, because I was talking to a more casual fan earlier today, and the fan was saying, oh, man, so is it a record losing streak? So, well, yeah, and it'd be the all-time record, but it's almost like you got to say, but it doesn't feel like it.
Mm-hmm.
The way they compiled it, it should be. That's kind of what they're trying to do.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the problem with tanking culture, right? The fact that it's not a big deal, or the fact that you're still not rooting for it to end. I mean, how many fans are rooting for the Kings to win tomorrow and not have that worst record? How many fans are rooting for that? I don't know if that percentage is higher than 10, because more people care about holding down that number one.
The people at the arena will care.
People at the arena will care.
There, yeah.
But I would say this, with the news that came out today, and I know some people are just running around and they can't be locked into everything. But with the news that came out today, I'm sorry, Whitey, if you're signing up to go to the Kings game tomorrow and moving forward, obviously we're not talking about season ticket holders, but anybody that is going on StubHub or Kings.com and purchasing a ticket today for a future game, you should know what you're getting into.
Mm-hmm. You might want to go to see the other team.
Yes. Yeah, and there'll be some good teams stopping by.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Sabonis, Zach LaVine both underwent season-ending surgeries today, according to Shams. Here's the deal with Sabonis. He suffered the tear in his left knee meniscus tear in mid-November, missed 27 games, attempting to rehab it, and it looked like that was coming along, but with the Kings going nowhere, Sabonis is opting, according to ESPN, for the surgery and full repair on his left knee, setting his eyes toward next season.
Yeah, I'm looking here, to be honest with you. Obviously, teams that don't get to come very often, people are more excited about. But
the teams from the East who come just
the
once
rest
a year.
of the season is, I think we're okay. I think they're not
in
a
terms
lot
of the tank, you mean?
Well, even the idea of coming to see other teams, I don't even know who you got the De'Aaron Harrison Barnes return in mid-March. Philly visits in mid-March as well. So you have some Eastern Conference teams coming by. But no, I mean, you already did the Celtics. You got the Warriors in April, second to last game of the season. But it's gonna get ugly.
See, that's the thing that's not talked about enough in the era of load management. When you have a really bad team,
that's
good
a good
team
point.
comes to play you. That's the game where you're sitting down.
That's a good
We don't
point.
need you.
That is a great point. And a lot of these teams, just kind of browsing through. I mean, the Jazz, you still have another one against the Jazz, which, again, will be awful. You have another one against the Pacers, which will be awful. The Nets, awful.
Commissioner Silver should come to
Oh,
the
my
next
goodness.
Jazz Kings game.
I dare you to sit somebody. I dare you. They're running out of people to sit. Everyone's just going to be at home recovering from surgery.
Yeah. Here we are talking about Keegan and Nick Clifford. You know, Daquan Plowden's going, I'm going to get some shots.
Oh, my goodness. His agent called, hey, it's hunting season. It's time to go, baby. Earn yourself that next contract.
Mm-hmm. So if this season was a movie, what movie is it? What movie is most like this King season?
That's a broad question.
Yeah.
That's a
I
very
would go
broad
with,
question.
Infinity Wars.
Does that mean it wasn't good?
Yes. The first one, not Endgame, but Infinity Wars where everyone disappears. Just people
So not that the movie wasn't good, but the plot of the movie.
Right. It's like
I
the
see.
movie is most like the King.
I see.
Oh,
I
great
see.
movie.
Okay. I was just double checking how
But
we were
just,
doing
when
this.
everybody's disappearing, like today, Demontis Sabonis.
Yes. Yeah,
Exactly.
into the dust. Into
Yeah,
the dust.
yeah.
Where you got Scott Perry snapping his finger like Thanos and they just disappear.
I'm not sure who Thanos would be. That's another conversation for another.
We know the Avengers, so we know we snapping them away, baby.
Yeah.
I would say, off the top of my head, you could go the idea of just a bad movie.
Yeah.
Or you could say the plot of one.
So we're back to Batman
No,
and
we're
Robin.
not. No, we're not doing this
One of
today.
the worst movies that's ever been made.
We're not doing this
I
today.
see what you're saying.
I would say, well, if we're going to go in that direction, I know, what was it, Green Lantern? That was another.
Never saw it.
That with Ryan Reynolds.
I was smart enough to stay
no,
away
no,
from that
no.
one.
That was another bad one. Somebody else says, James on the chat says, Home Alone. I don't know who is Macaulay Culkin. Who's left? Just the rookies and not even the rookies. Dylan Cardwell not even there anymore.
Right.
It's just DeMar. DeMar is Macaulay Culkin, the only one that just hasn't missed a game. We'll take that one, James. I got to keep thinking about
No,
it.
it's got to be Devin Carter. So you're going to, Devin!
Yeah. Devin, get in here. We sat you all season long. Now we're going to play you. Yeah, a lot
We
of.
forgot Devin!
Or they purpose. That was the thing.
Whoa.
Well, that was the tinfoil. Did they leave Kevin on purpose? That was the whole question. But there's a lot of. I gotta play with some ideas here, because Infinity War. I don't think I can beat that. Let me put it to you like that.
Okay, let me try this on. Just kind of a sidebar. You know, they're bringing Captain America and Thor back, right?
That's right.
Yeah, so they were in Endgame, and then that was it. And Marvel was going to move on to the other movies like the Immortals or whatever, and tanked.
Right.
So now they're bringing them back. So Marvel was like the Bulls, the 98 Bulls, thinking, we don't need these guys.
Yeah.
We don't need Jordan. We don't need Pippen. We're
That's
fine
right.
without him. Then they found out, no. But Marvel is getting them back.
Yeah.
The Bulls never did go back.
And don't get me started on Robert Downey Jr. playing a different character. I don't like.
He's gonna have a mask on.
This is not my sixth grade play. This is not my sixth grade play.
It's not a Hamilton.
I mean, this is ridiculous. Hey, let's run him back out there. And we know he's got the name brand. I would say if you want to go more depressing, 7 pounds. It's pretty dark. But
I don't even.
From Will Smith.
Oh, okay.
He does not feel great about his life, and he decides to give away his organs to other people. He decides to do something good by giving away his organs
You're saying
to
that's
other
what
people.
that's the movie this King season is about.
Yes, and
is
each
like-
organ is a player.
Okay.
And then he meets Rosario Dawson and ends up falling in love and starts thinking differently about his life.
Oh,
I told
okay.
you it's dark, but it's a great
All right.
movie.
So it sounds like it gets brighter towards the end with Rosario Dawson?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
In the summer, we're in the tank, we're in the lottery. That's when it gets lighter.
Yeah.
That's when he meets Rosario.
Yeah.
That's what we'll go with.
Yeah. Well, hopefully, the summer and the lottery will be like Endgame, but there's no guarantee.
There is no guarantee that you can go back in the past and defeat Thanos or whatever you want to call it. There's no guarantee on any of this. It's 50-50, 1 through 4, or pick number 5. And it's going to be very nerve-wracking this whole time. That's what we are transitioning into. I don't know that the games will be nerve-wracking, but we're transitioning into everybody just having a gut feeling, whether it's me, whether it's you, other hosts on the show, fans, and they just know in their heart of hearts that we're going to be sitting there at the draft lottery party that I got to fill out my W-2 for, Jay.
Yeah.
We're going to be at that draft lottery party Adam Silver's going to be up there, whoever's representing, and it's going to unfold, and the Kings are going to get the 5th pick. I think that is the new gut feeling that everybody is trying to fight, but deep down in their heart of hearts, that's what they believe is going to happen.
It's probably better if it's the old saying of prepare for the worst, expect the best.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, just embrace that. Oh, they might get the 5th pick. The odds are there's a really high percentage they'll get the 5th pick. If they get the 5th pick, what are they going to do? Then if they end up higher than that, it'd be like, oh.
Lower the bar.
We always do it backwards. Like,
Right.
they have the worst record. They should get the first pick, right? They're probably not going to do that. But if it happens, people are going to be like, oh, no, it's the Kings. Of course they didn't get the first pick.
Just lower the bar now, people.
Yes.
Lower the bar now. Somebody else is saying Bad News Bears. That's a good one.
Mm-hmm.
That was from Rob Bishop. Somebody else said Walking Dead from Darren Stewart. I like that as well. This week in basketball, War of the World.
With Ice Cube.
War of the World.
Is that the one with Tom Cruise?
I thought that was the one with Tom Cruise. Yeah, from back in the day. But I think a lot of people are going to feel anxious about it, Whitey, but I'm going into it like this. We're going to be sitting there at our draft lottery party, and I know for a fact I am manifesting when number 5 gets picked, it will not have purple. It will not have a crown. It will not have black. It will not have gray. It will not have white because it won't be Sacramento, baby. We getting 4 or 3 or 2 or 1.
Jay has a really interesting theory about why he doesn't want the Kings to have the first pick. Am I right, Jay? Do I remember that correctly? Yeah.
Yeah, 100% right.
Uh-huh. And
I would rather them not take the first pick because history has told us the Kings haven't been the best at making the first pick. So I'd rather them have the 2nd or 3rd pick, and you really can't mess it up no matter who you take. If it's AJ, Darren Peterson, Caleb Wilson, or Boozer, most people will say, okay, all right, you took who was left. I always say, I keep saying I'd prefer the 3rd pick for the Kings. The 3rd pick for me.
Because then it's like it's almost pre-made for you.
Yes.
So you can't, even if it's wrong, you didn't really screw it up.
Yes. People are like, you had to take them.
Yes.
Now, Caleb
like
Wilson has kind of changed that a little bit.
Yeah.
Because at first it was the top 3.
Right.
But I don't want the 4th pick. I'd rather have the 3rd.
I like that. First pick, it's too much.
Too much pressure.
Too much pressure.
For this organization of their history, too much pressure out.
You got to at least eliminate somebody from the board. And even if that somebody ends up being the best player, from that perspective, at least Kings fans can say, well, there's nothing we could have done. If you have the number 1 and you pick the whammy, and the whammy might still be a NBA caliber player, but if you don't pick the superstar, what's your boy Sam Quinn and the whole crew from The Ringer? Oh my goodness, they're gonna have a field
barely
day.
even read that. I saw that. I know we touched on it yesterday. Sam Quinn's annual front office rankings. And I know some of the other shows, of course, talked about it. We touched on it yesterday, but I felt like I don't need to read this. I know what it's going to say. I know where the Kings are.
Yeah.
And I know it's just basically going to be a bunch of dismissive, maybe they're jokes, maybe they're just insults.
Yes, just like
that's all it is.
Well, just like we read, I believe it was from The Ringer. It was Logan Murdoch and others. I don't believe it was just him. When they were just cracking jokes.
Yeah,
they were just roasting.
Right.
We're not okay.
It's not even low hanging fruit. It's picking the rotting fruit up off the
ground.
ground.
Let's just kick them.
Yeah,
let's just kick him a little bit, like Matt's son kicked him playing soccer.
Yeah,
right in the shin.
I knew I liked that kid.
He deserved it. I don't know what happened, but I'm telling you, he deserved it.
Did you happen to see the piece today at SI.com on AJ DeBonsa?
I know you sent it to me. I didn't get through all of it.
It's really interesting. He's a guy who doesn't necessarily do things the way everyone else does them. Like for example, he went to BYU.
Right.
He said, I could have gone somewhere else where maybe there's other really good players on there, but I wanted to be the focal point, and I wanted to lead this school to great things.
Right.
Yeah. And like he gets an allowance he's probably making about $5 million a year. He gets an allowance from his dad. He gets the same amount that I think his brother and sister get. He just seems very down to earth, not motivated by money.
The great shift is upon us. Come on, Whitey, say it.
He's a character guy. I think he'd be a really good fit for the Kings, and I think that's one reason why It's not the biggest reason. The basketball reasons are the biggest reason. But I'm sure he's the Kings' choice if they had the first pick.
Yeah.
Things could change between now and then, but I think he'd be a really good fit in a lot of ways.
I hear where you're coming from. You know, these are the types of things that when the race is this close, you look deeper than maybe you would look in years past. I mean, we weren't talking about this with Alex Sarr and Reese Ashe. We weren't talking about this with even Cooper Flagg because number 2, I know Dylan Harper was solid, and Ace Bailey, but we weren't talking about this with how close this race is. We're going deeper, and I appreciate going a little bit deeper.
Yeah. He also hasn't declared yet, which obviously you don't have to. There's some speculation that he's the type of guy that might, if he felt there was unfinished business there, he might say, I'm going back.
That would be incredible.
Yeah.
That would be incredible. And that would flip everything on its head for 2027.
Exactly, as you pointed out. One of these top guys, if he waits a year, he's going to be absolutely the consensus number 1.
There's no question, and there's nothing that goes down saying, the number 3 pick, he was a number 3 pick in 2026, which is the equivalent of the number 1 pick in 2027. No. You'd just be the number 1 pick. And it would be so funny, Whitey, because I'm getting a call right now. Breaking news, the Jazz marketing out for the season in 2027. Back to the tank they go. Got to put them back on the shelf.
Tino wants to know, why can't the Kings be the Dirty Dozen? Director of Rec says no country for old men or no trades for old men. That's pretty good.
No pickups for old men.
Yeah. And Brickhouse Industries, Kings will mess up the first pick, better off picking 5. That's the J theory.
Yeah.
Not 5.
5 is a little low.
Yeah, that's a little low.
Yeah.
I think third, everybody would feel, hey, we have enough control to get a guy, but not too much control to mess it up. And it stinks that it's said that way, but that's how people feel.
So tomorrow night, the Kings, there's a very good chance they lose their 15th straight game. But big picture, it's like, play on, shrug it off.
I don't know anybody that'll be upset about it.
Right. It's an unavoidable part of this very difficult process.
Yeah.
Getting the whole thing turned over and headed in the right direction again.
I do wonder, and I know we're going to go a little bit deeper on it too, the all-rookie stuff, you've already seen Maxime Reynaud get shafted once. I wonder, I know some bad rookies are normally on bad teams, but this is also Sacramento. Are they maybe going to sacrifice maybe some accolades there because the team is so bad?
Nah, they're going to have at least one. You might even have Dylan Cardwell if he comes back and plays well.
Whitey, he's out for a month.
First team and second team all rookie.
Okay, we'll see. We'll see.
You want to bet?
Sure.
On any of that?
Not Maxime, but I'll bet Dylan. Just because he's missing time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll have to think about that one. I'm with you on Maxime. What do Kings fans need to see the rest of the way? 339-1140, 1-800-920-1140. Drive Guys rolling on Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
Hagen Oaks knows you can buy a driver off the shelf anywhere, but Hagen Oaks is the only place where you'll find total game fitting. The Hagen Oaks TrackMan-powered player performance studio fits clubs to your swing. Ping's Ballnamic Ball Fitter finds your optimum golf ball. The putter fitting studio makes you a better putter, and FootJoy's 3D foot scanner finds your correct fit. In fact, Hagen Oaks will fit you from head to toe with equipment and apparel to make you the player you want to be. It's total game fitting, and it's only at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop, Fulton Avenue at the Cap City Freeway.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options, heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
Country in the Park is back. May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo. Miranda Lambert. John Party. Chris Young.
Turnpike
troubadours, Dylan Scott, and more. Line dancing, mechanical bulls, and food trucks. Make it a lucky night out of live country music and dancing for your crew. Tickets start at only $68. Country in the Park, May 8th and 9th at Cal Expo with Bar None Auction, Sky River Casino, and Trex Decking and Railing. More info at CITPFest.com.
You ever notice how the other guys scream about massive discounts on their Dodge, Chrysler, or Jeep Ram vehicles? Then you get to the fine print and boom, another $5,200 in mandatory ads. At Hoblet, we don't insult your intelligence. The price you see is the price you pay. No mystery add-ons, no bait and switch, no gotcha when you sit down to buy. Hoblet, family owned for 77 years. Transparency, straightforward pricing. Buy it right, buy it at Hoblet.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Imran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Rob Bishop says, I was just thinking, what if Keegan and Herter didn't fall off a cliff after the Beam team if they both progressed like normal NBA players do?
That's cold. That's cold.
I think both of them, looking back on it now, it looks like maybe they overperformed a little bit.
Yeah.
So it's hard for the Kings to know what they had when they had a lot of guys that overperformed a little bit.
And I think we can be honest now. A lot of people were salty when it was being said at the time that it was a softer Western Conference that season. There were some teams that were injured. I'm just trying to think of a team that did what the Kings did, Whitey. Who's another team that had random lightning in a bottle like that for one season? Now, obviously, the Kings imploded, and that was self-implosion. But a team that just had a random hit for a season and then didn't move forward. Now, obviously, it's not that simple because you're supposed to make improvements, and the Kings didn't do that. But just the idea that everyone had a career season, and then the next season, they not only did they not have they didn't even get back to their averages. I mean, I know it was Keegan's rookie year, but Kevin Herter had, I believe, the second worst season of his career the year after Beam team, and it was just his rookie season that it was, or one of his really early seasons. So to just flip that much and go from the hottest team to the absolute coldest team.
Yeah, Mike Brown, to the very end of his time here, he talked about touching the paint and spray threes. And that first year, that Beam team year, they did that and they shot the ball at a really great clip.
Yeah.
And then after that, each year, it just fell off. It continues to fall off.
Right.
And that was really their bread and butter. That's why they were one of the best offenses we've seen. They did that and it worked and they made the shots.
Yeah, it's a make or miss league, as they say, and they started missing shots. And after that, where are you going to go from there?
Amadrock says Indiana Pacers, they currently suffering like us, but it's extenuating circumstances when their best player tore his Achilles.
They'll be back. That ain't the same.
You know, actually came to mind, and it's not a perfect fit, but the year the Warriors won the championship, there's a lot of things that fell into place. Now, obviously, they had one of the all-time great players, so it's not exactly what you're saying.
Right.
But they had Jordan Poole and Wiggins turn into like all-world players when they needed them to the most.
Right, and then they never returned back to that form of them. That is a good shout. And the reality is it just doesn't happen a lot. And on top of that, we're talking about a team that lost in the first round. We know what they did historically, but they lost in the first round. So I'm sure, I think the difference is because teams typically tank, by the time they get to the playoffs, they are mainstays. Either they tanked and got their guy, or they're a big market and they traded and got their guy. So you don't see a lot of teams that just jump in the playoffs for a season and then jump out because you've either tanked or you've gotten your crew because you're a big market. So you don't normally see what the Kings did.
By the way, this is from Campio. Styles, my golf buddy Simon is a tax accountant, handles the top 10% in the area.
Oh, well, I'm top 11%. So I don't know if I'm going to get snuck in there or not. But thank you, Campio.
Okay. Director of Rec says, if we didn't run it back and added more depth, we'd be talking playoffs probably. Did the Kings this year have any chance to be competitive?
I mean, they had a chance, technically, when the season tipped off, but I'll never forget, this was a different pumpkin patch that I don't know, something about me getting news at pumpkin patches.
Right.
And we went to a lot. We had a whole
Better
pumpkin
than Matt
patch.
George breaking his arm in a corn maze.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. And we went to a corn maze too, but there were no injuries at this corn maze.
As it should be.
But I'm leaving the pumpkin patch, and I get the notification about Keegan. And at that moment, I believe, to director's point, that went out the window. Once Keegan went down, knowing how thin we were at the wing forward position, that's when all hope was lost, when Keegan wasn't starting the season.
You could argue that if he hadn't gotten hurt, if Domas hadn't gotten hurt, maybe they would have competed. But I don't think they were set up to win because, as you say, they were so thin at the wing spot. I don't know if Scott Perry really wanted to compete this year. I mean, yeah, it was pretty clear when they started the season. They brought in a point guard in Schroeder. So maybe if things go well, they continue down that path. But I think he was kind of planning all along on this ending up close to where it is now. They could have been better, but I don't agree that this team had a real chance to be a good team. I never saw it.
No, I think it would have been, which is funny because you do wonder what Scott Perry's actual plan was, because if they had done the play in purgatory thing one more year, which I think was essentially their ceiling, and sneaking into an 8 seed, if they had done that for one more year, I guess he's in a good spot because ownership would be happy that they got playoff revenue, but also he would know deep down, hey, well, we still have to restart this thing, and it just got delayed a year.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'll caveat myself with is in that situation, Whitey, if they were the 8 seed, that means a lot of people are playing well, so maybe you're able to move on from some of the contracts. That's the only thing. Maybe.
Let's be honest, though. Right now, that sounds like science fiction. It just sounds like that must be another world at another time.
Yeah. And the one question I've always had when it comes to the different markets out there is how much deep down in their heart of hearts were they trying to shop DeMar DeRozan going into the season? Because I just don't think they were trying to shop him very hard. Obviously, they didn't have Russ on the squad at the time, so he was the vet that I think Scott Perry maybe wanted to build around. But that's my question. I don't know that DeMar's market was better then. It was always just a bit odd to me because I was in that last press conference when the season ended, when they got the bleep knocked out of them.
By Dallas?
By Dallas. And DeMar was really sitting there, 16, 17 years. He was really contemplating. And Whitey, I'll only speak for myself, but it feels like everybody in that room thought, yeah, this is the last time we're going to see DeMar. And I just wonder what happened there. Maybe it's just pretty simple and he just didn't have a market. I don't know. But it was just weird that we didn't hear anything over the summer.
Remember, he had a tumultuous summer because he had that person who may or may not have been all there, remember, got into a confrontation.
The sushi thing?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And that we never, and I don't need to know anything about that, but that did happen.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and then after that, we didn't hear much. I remember we had Scott Perry on last summer, and I asked him about DeMar, and he just said, I just had a conversation with him. He's in a good place. So I would guess that they were looking at moving him, but either he didn't want to or there was no market, but I don't know that for a fact.
Yeah, I mean, out of all the buzz that we heard, it was just the one thing I think a lot of us were the most sure about, and then we heard nothing. I mean, not even a whisper. There was some of the Kuminga connection stuff if it was a 3-team deal, but nothing substantial, which I just always found a bit interesting.
Yeah, well, it's just you can't blame the front office, the Kings, for not coming out and saying, look, we couldn't trade our guys because nobody wants them.
Right.
You can't say that.
You can't say that.
Yeah.
No.
So we just have to figure that out for ourselves.
Yeah, well, you know what it was, now that you said that? It was the Miami Heat thing. And then I got information that...
Oh, here we go.
Well, no, I got information...
From Mick Cronin?
Mick, not my guy, but, we deal with similar things. With similar jokes. But I got information that they hadn't had a conversation about DeMar DeRozan because that was starting to take off, that the Miami Heat, it was before they got Norm Powell. And then I was told that there was a different Kings player that they had very high-level discussions with, but the DeMar DeRozan thing started to take off, and that basically got debunked about 2 days into it.
Yeah, speaking of DeMar, he and Russell Westbrook are, as SI.com pointed out, zeroing in on some significant numbers. Russell Westbrook, 27,001 career points, so he's 14th all-time. He can potentially climb into the top 12 by the end of the season. And then DeMar is nearing the top 20 all-time scoring list. He's 22nd on the all-time list, 26,339 points, 57 points away from passing John Havlicek for 21st place, 59 points away from passing Paul Pierce to reach the top 20. My question is, it's kind of like getting back to what we were talking about with the losing streak. Does it matter? How much does it matter to Kings fans to see these players continuing to climb up these all-time charts as members of the Kings?
I don't think it matters. Or I don't think it is. I mean, there are reasons to, I guess, go to games and sell tickets.
It just seems like there's a disconnect, huh? Like, that's good for you. It doesn't really impact us because you did most of that before you even got here.
Right. I don't know what type of connection these players have to Sacramento. I think they're appreciative to the organization because they're giving them an opportunity to kind of do their thing, but I don't know what connection they have to Sacramento. I don't know what connection Sacramento has to them because it is a bit marred by the fact that this is not even the rebound. I mean, this is just the stage before there's a big reset. And maybe there'll be Whitey, when you're traveling with your family and you get stuck in traffic, and at the time...
Analogy land.
Well, I'm just saying, at the time, it was very annoying. I'll never forget, we were going to Disneyland, one of our last kind of full family trips, and I said, hey, this is telling us to get off and get back on, but I don't know why we would do that. Let's just stay here. I cost us about 2 hours on 5. And at the time, my parents were very annoyed with me. But you look back on it, and you laugh a little bit, and I do wonder if this stage of the Kings, as tough as it is now, will Kings fans in a couple years hopefully look back and say, it was kind of cool that we had DeMar and Russ and they broke some of these records, right?
Yeah, well, it could even be relevant next year because not going to happen this year, but Westbrook is 999 points away from reaching 28,000. And he's also 1,596 points away from passing Shaq for 10th place on the all-time scoring list. But he would need another full season. Is there any teams you can think of who'd be willing to give Russ another full season?
Outside of the 916? No. But is the
That's
916
the team I was thinking of.
Is 916 included? You're dang right.
Mm-hmm. When we come back, Michael Irvin says the Super Bowl was terrible and that San Francisco should never get another Super Bowl. Spoken like a true cowboy jackass. We're all over that next on Sactown Sports.
Malik Monk plays here.
Started left, goes right, steps back, launches the three. Nothing but net. Oh, that was just filthy. Oh, my, that was sweet.
Sactown Sports is your proud home of the Sacramento Kings.
Winter is in full swing, and Aleve is here to keep you moving. When the cold weather sets in, everyday aches and pains can linger, but Aleve's got your back. With up to 12 hours of body pain relief per dose, Aleve keeps you going with long-lasting body pain relief to get you through whatever the season brings. Chilly days or cozy nights, Aleve gives you that long-lasting body pain relief you can count on this winter. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Hi, Flo here from Progressive. You know, life changes quickly, so it's good to have flexible coverage.
Oh, you mean like adding another vehicle?
Yes, that's something we can do.
Great, because I was thinking about getting a van so we could just keep the kids' softball stuff in the car.
Oh, we don't need to get into specifics. Just saying it's easy to change.
Oh, and Hannah wants to try the tuba.
Again, we don't need the specifics.
Last year, she wanted to be a tap dancer, but that only lasted 2 lessons.
Okay.
But she kept the shoes because they are adorable.
Well, just know that with Progressive, you can easily add another car to your auto insurance because we know life changes.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
You're still grooving, still connecting, still loving, still turning up, still thriving. You still got it, but your immune system, it weakens as you age. That's where vaccines come in. They help train and strengthen your immune response to fight off respiratory illnesses like flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, or COVID-19. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Book in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
At InShape, we have a place for every kind of mover. The Sometimer, the early riser, the after-work grinder, the yogi, lifter, bodybuilder, walker, runner, swimmer, spinner, stretcher, rower, climber, jumper, dancer, boxer, sauna seeker, recoverer. Basically, if you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong at InShape. So whether it's your first time or your first time in a while, start the year strong and join today at InShape.com. Find a location nearest to you.
Trust. It's the foundation of every business. With Better Business Bureau, you connect to a network of trusted partners who help you grow and improve your visibility. BBB accreditation signals to your customers that you value honesty and reliability. Show your commitment to integrity and excellence. Join a community that's dedicated to helping businesses thrive. Take the next step for your business. Join today. Visit bbb.org and discover how Better Business Bureau can help your business thrive.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to folsomlakehonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda, yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
2 iconic comedians, one night of laughs. David Spade, Dana Carvey.
In 1998, they invented the cordless mic. Now listen, Paramount Theater, let's not jump on trends.
Even in the best marriage, at one point, you look over and go, not my best choice.
Friday, February 27th, the venue at Thunder Valley. Tickets on sale now at visitthundervalleyresort.com. David Spade and Dana Carvey, together.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles on Sactown Sports 1140.
I hate to say it, but I'm going to say it. Since the Kings have been towards the bottom of the standings, I've been watching more college basketball, scouting players that they potentially might have a chance to pick, and I'm enjoying college basketball a lot more than some of these tankathon games, NBA games.
You don't gotta be ashamed of that.
Well, I didn't say I was ashamed. I said I hate to say it.
Wow, I don't know why. You should say it with pride.
I've always been a big NBA guy. Always. NBA, college basketball's okay.
Is this the NBA? Are we when this team, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but is that the NBA?
It's what the NBA has become far too often.
Yeah.
It's a great point you make. Tonight, by the way, we got Kansas against Oklahoma State.
I'm in.
Bill Self is putting his foot down on these anti-Darren Peterson narratives. He's had enough, Alan. The kid is sick. He didn't play well because he wasn't feeling well. He's had the flu, all right?
Did he ever address the text that him and, I'm sure he did, but with him and Darren, or, hey, are you guys good? I'm sure he said,
came from someone who wasn't even part of the program.
Well, he was texting. He was sitting in a good spot.
I know,
he
but
was sitting at the
that's
scores table.
what the university said. That person's not even part of the program.
Well, he was part of something because he was sitting at the scores table.
I don't believe he has addressed that.
Yeah.
And you know how college coaches are. You got to be careful what you ask them.
No. That's the dumbest question I've ever been asked.
Mm-hmm. I think when you don't practice for a long amount of time and you lose weight and you got flu symptoms and all that stuff, he didn't feel well. Mm-hmm. When I say he didn't feel well, was he 60%? Was he 70%? Maybe. I don't know. But he wasn't to the point where we were down to say, hey, let's roll with you. Come on.
Protect the asset.
We got to make sure he's ready to practice on Monday and Tuesday to be ready on Wednesday. Bill Self tonight, as I said, Kansas against Oklahoma State.
If we did look at this, and I've said this before when it comes to the contract or agreement that they may have in place, ultimately, I know that they want the best seed possible, but Bill Self probably to a certain degree feels like, look, I could get another first overall pick under my resume, and the last couple, haven't been great. So I can get that under my resume, and ultimately, as long as this guy is ready to rock and roll for March Madness, that's what I care about, right? Because
I would think if there is any sort of agreement.
Yeah, a team like that in a specific season like this, they're not worried about, because half the time it's pretty random, right? Oh, well, that's a murderer's row. Look at the Western Division in March Madness. It's just luck of the draw. You can't necessarily control that. I mean, you can, but if you're not in the running to be a number one seed or whatever the case is, Bill Self is probably thinking, we're going to do what we're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't really matter what seed we are if Darren Peterson is healthy.
Yeah. At 5 o'clock, James Barlo is going to join us, NBA Draft, Big Board, NBA Draft Junkies. More on the draft then. Also, I know Alan has some thoughts that maybe Darren Peterson is going about this the right way with players getting injured. So we have that coming up today as well. So
yeah,
I'm preaching to the choir, aren't I? Because you're a big Darren Peterson guy.
I mean, JT Toppin, torn ACL. You hate to see it. Now, he was a junior, supposed to go in the late first.
Alan liked him until he found out he wasn't related to Obi Toppin.
Right.
And then he was out.
I thought you were one of my guys. And you could have been one of my guys, but
that's not a joke. That's 100% true.
You still could be one of my guys, JT. Get well soon.
Yeah.
As well as the Caleb Wilson situation. So maybe Darren Peterson's on to something.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe.
We will get to that. Is Michael Irvin onto something, or is he just on something, Alan?
I'm not answering that.
Have you ever interviewed Michael Irvin?
I have.
He's a really funny
dude.
he's
hilarious.
Yeah.
He is a funny dude.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. He will answer your questions. I made him really angry one time talking about Deion Sanders defending a key pass down the sideline against him in the NFC Championship game, and he interrupted. He goes, hey, I know what you're going to ask me. Anyway, but he's a good interview. However, he apparently did not have a good time at the Super Bowl, and he wants San Francisco banned from hosting the Super Bowl going forward.
I mean, by the time it comes back, Mike, I don't know how old he's going to be anyway, but
now that's a cheap shot.
Well, I'm just saying, they're not going back in 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
They're not going to be back for a while.
Now, I think this was actually recorded the day after the Super Bowl. For some reason, it's making the rounds now. But here's Michael Irvin on how he did not enjoy the Super Bowl experience.
Locker room. This was a horrible Super Bowl. They should never, ever bring the Super Bowl back to San Francisco. I'm sorry. The city, this was, in all the years of going to a Super Bowl, this was the worst. This seemed so like blah. It was blah in the city. You know what I mean? It just wasn't jumping like you see Super Bowls jumping. It was blah. The people, blah, blah. The buildings out here looks blah. You know, when you go and you're going to events, it's like blah. I'm thinking it should be so much money out here because the tech is out here, right? But it all looks so blah. Blah, 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 blah.
It's Michael Irvin.
And I didn't want to dampen anybody thoughts or hope about a Super Bowl during the Super Bowl. So I said, I'm going to wait. But I couldn't wait till this moment came to tell you, damn.
Yeah. He doesn't want another Super Bowl.
No.
San Francisco. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
That's all he
look,
had.
I'll say this. For what Mike is looking for, who he is known as a pretty big partier, I don't think San Francisco, and definitely not San Jose and Santa Clara, is the spot for him.
He did not get an invite to Keon White's party, apparently?
Doesn't sound like it. And, you know, there are a lot of areas of San Francisco. When you think about the big clubs in Miami, and I don't know what New Orleans has going on. I still need to get back as an adult. But Miami and Vegas, you know, the last couple spots where they've been, this is not that. And I can understand why he feels like that. We used to talk all the time about...
You're a Bay Area guy.
Well, we used to talk all the time about young players and how desirable a place like the Bay Area is for a young single dude out in these streets. And it's not really that. It's not popping like that. You know, you got a couple spots.
You got to know your spots.
You got to know your spots. But when you think, oh, these big cities, I'm sure Chicago, I'm sure, Dallas, a lot of these places have more of a traditional nightlife than San Francisco. And especially when you're talking about what you're expecting for the Super Bowl. No, it's just different.
One of my thoughts was, maybe he spent a lot of time in Santa Clara, which is just kind of nondescript.
Right.
But I know he was at Radio Row. According to reports, he was at Radio Row, which was all week long in, San Francisco. I know he complained about the traffic because they had a lot of streets blocked off.
Right.
The stadium itself is... Right. It's not what you think of when you think of a Super Bowl stadium.
Right.
And I'm giving them the full benefit of the doubt.
Look,
San Francisco is it's a great, one of the world's greatest cities.
It just depends on what you want.
Yeah.
Right? We saw all these people talking about the food, talking about, that ain't what Mike looking for. He's not looking for that place that popped deli board.
I will say it did seem like the stadium, other than Bad Bunny, the atmosphere during the game was a little underwhelming.
Yeah, but...
And I think maybe a lot of 49er fans are like,
Yeah, they didn't get a lot of the local fans coming out because, and I don't know how many local fans normally go to Super Bowls, but definitely with the Seahawks in the building, not really feeling it. But I saw a lot of people that loved San Francisco, but they're talking about the food. They're talking about the running trails. They're talking about the scenery. They're talking about visiting places. That ain't what Michael Irvin is looking for. So what Michael Irvin's looking for, there's not a ton of that in San Francisco. But that's just his opinion. I think there are a lot of people that the one thing they said is, how can you condense it? The problem is, unless you move San Francisco to Santa Clara or you move the stadium to San Francisco, you can't.
I'm not even sure that was part of his complaint. If that's what he said, I'd be understanding.
No, he's talking about the nightlife.
Yeah.
There's some spots. You go to the Mission. You got the Mission. You got North Beach. But there's not a ton for what
Got to go to Dawn Club. I told you about
Dawn Club. But no, he goes to Dawn Club. They got mixology going on. He doesn't want mixology.
Yeah.
You were in New Orleans, and then right before that, you were in Vegas. So that makes it's like going from a hot tub to jumping in the pool.
I don't remember any complaint similar to this the last time the Super Bowl was in San Francisco.
I'm sure they were out there. I'm sure. I'm sure. But, Mike.
Spoken like a true cowboy, right?
What are you looking for?
No more Super Bowls in San Francisco.
Yeah, and he wasn't alone. A lot of people that were looking for that type of vibe, it's not as easy to find it out here. You look at the huge clubs that are 2 levels and all that. San Francisco doesn't have a ton of that.
Mm-hmm. That's not what the Super Bowl's all about, Alan.
That's not me. That's Mike.
It is for Mike.
I mean, if I was out there, I'd be looking. But we didn't get to go.
Yeah. How about this? We'll have it out here again, Mike. You just don't come.
Don't come.
Yeah. You stay home.
Cowboys won't be here, Mike, so there's really no need in you showing up. But again, now next season, L.A., so he going to be off the Richter scale.
But it all looks so blah. Blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, director says, Mike ain't looking for clam chowder on Pier 39. No, he's not.
in the bread bowl? He's
not
messing
with the bread bowl.
Boudin sourdough?
No, he's not, man. Wow, it's Ghirardelli. How nice. I've never seen the Ghirardelli factory before.
That's good chocolate.
Yeah.
The 5 stages of an NBA rebuild when we come back. Sactown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Granger. Granger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select Oil Filter for just $32.99, plus 2 times points at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Limit supply.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
ZipRecruiter.
Every business starts with an idea. With smart business buying from Amazon Business, get everything you need to grow in one familiar place. From office supplies to IT essentials and maintenance tools. Ready to bring your visions to life? Learn how at AmazonBusiness.com.
Confidence is knowing you're ready to handle whatever comes your way. That's what it feels like to take on your workday with Cintas. They make sure your AEDs are up to date, your fire extinguishers are tested and inspected, your floor mats are cleaned and delivered, and your workwear looks good, feels good, and is freshly laundered with a Cintas Apparel Plus program. So are you ready to take on today? Visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the workday.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Running a business takes grit, vision, and a partner who believes in your success as much as you do. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built around you. The entrepreneurs, the growers, the dreamers powering our community. Whether you need flexible checking, faster payments, or financing to take your next big step, Valley Strong brings local expertise and real relationships to every stage of your business. Because when local businesses thrive, the whole valley grows stronger. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business, grow your future. ValleyStrong.com/business.
What's up? We're talking to Chad Hoblet of Hoblet Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram in Woodland. Chad, what's happening for Ram Truck Month?
If you've been looking for the right hard-to-find Ram heavy duty, Hoblet has it, and at the price that works for you. Right now, save up to $12,500 off MSRP on new 2026 Ram 2500s and 3500s. Plus, with over 400 new Rams available, you're going to find what you need at Hoblet.
Heavy duty seemed to be a strong point for Hoblet.
Absolutely. We are the only dealer in the area full of truck people. One of the many reasons we are consistently one of the top Ram truck dealers in the nation, and one of the only certified Ram truck centers in the entire country. You won't find a better combination of service and affordability in California.
Search, select, and save through their whole inventory at HobletDodge.com. Unbeatable prices, unbeatable selection. Nobody beats Hoblet, period.
12,500 toll net savings on select new 2026 Ram 2500 Laramie after 3,500 factory rebates and 9,000 dealer discounts. Rebates may include 2,000 select inventory bonus cash on select inventory, 500 on the job upfit. Must show eligible upfit. 5 of the net savings. See dealer for details.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder, thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
KHD HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140. Live and local, it's the Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
I read the news today. Oh, boy. Domantas Sabonis is out for the rest of the NBA regular season, undergoing surgery to repair that torn meniscus in his left knee. We had heard that Zach LaVine was also going to be out. It's official. He had the surgery today on his small finger on his right hand. So they're both done for the rest of the year. First blush, obviously, on the surface of that. Tough blow for the Kings, but kind of actually helps them inch closer to some of their goals this year.
Yeah.
Truth be told.
And I know it's probably as good of a time as ever to do it. Why do you know I'm obsessed with reading off the end of the season schedule for the Kings? So might as well do it now. Let's just get it kicked off in March. Okay. You have the Lakers. That's a tough one.
Mm-hmm.
Sure. You got to go to LA. That's March 1st. Then after that, you host the Suns. You host the Pelicans. You host the Bulls. You host the Pacers. You host the Hornets. You go to Clippers. You host the Jazz. You host the Spurs. You host the Sixers. Host the Nets. Go to Hornets. Go to Magic. Go to Hawks. Go to Nets. Go to Raptors. Host the Pelicans. You get the Clippers again. 2 games against the Warriors, and then the Blazers. That combination right there of 2 Hornets games. What was it? 2 Nets. Yeah, you got 2 Nets games and 2 Hornets games in March.
So have you checked the remaining schedule strength here?
I know they have the easiest. They have to.
I think they're 29th.
Okay.
Portland is a little bit easier, but it's very close.
Right, yeah. So that was what they were going to be up against. If you have Keegan will be available tomorrow. Keegan coming back, DeAndre Hunter coming back soon. They don't know if it's going to be tomorrow or not. And if you still had LaVine and Sabonis, it's not that I'm saying this team would have been a world beater, but that stretch in March where you get the Hornets twice and the Nets twice and the Pacers and the Bulls and the Jazz, that could have done some real damage.
I think Mark Cuban is onto something in this sense. Mark Cuban said, I know we talked about it yesterday, the NBA needs to embrace tanking a little bit. Mm-hmm. And it took me a while to try to figure out, what do you mean by that? But one of the things he said that resonates with me is, look, teams can't tell fans what they're doing because they'll get fined. So they have to, they can't tell the truth. But we all know what's going on. Fans know what's going on anyway. And it just makes it a little more awkward. Right now, nobody wants anybody to get hurt. No one wants anyone else to have to undergo surgery. But it actually helps the Kings. They couldn't move off of some of these players.
Yeah.
But, now they're sidelined anyway.
Right.
They don't have to worry about how are we going to keep these players out so they can how we can avoid them helping us win games. Well, that takes care of that. But we can't acknowledge that, or at least the team can't acknowledge that.
No, and I mean they never would.
I
think just for the future, you can look at this and sell it any way you want if you're the Kings. Hey, we're going to go in with a fully healthy Domas. We're going to go into the next season with a fully healthy Zach LaVine. And they're not really saying it for them. They're more so saying it for teams that might be interested in them. So
yeah.
There's a lot of ways they can spin it.
Yahoo Sports points out it's unclear how this injury situation would have been approached if Sabonis had been traded at the deadline. Well, presumably he would have played through it. And then I'm thinking if he's having the surgery now, he had a pretty good idea that he was going to need it at some point.
Yes. Yeah. Maybe it would have been in the summer. Let's say if they were in contention, it would have been in the summer or whatever the case is. But this just kind of hurries up the timeline to get him back out there and get him working during the offseason.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Maybe that was something of a hurdle when it came to the talks.
Did we ever...
Trade talks, that is.
Yes.
The team's like, he's going to have surgery. Yeah, but he's fine for now. Pass.
Kind of a mini tangent here. Did we ever find out who became Domantas Sabonis' new I guess, summer personal coach? Because it can't be Doug anymore, obviously.
I'm sure that information is out there. I don't.
Yeah, I'm just curious, just based on, you're used to doing something a certain way. And, for all we know, he was very happy with Doug getting the head coaching job, but it could have changed his approach as well.
Mm-hmm. So that's the news today. The other news that's better is that Keegan is very close to coming back. He's supposed to play tomorrow night.
Yes.
And DeAndre Hunter's coming back. And it's interesting now because it looks like Keegan's going to have another chance to grab the offense by the reins and become the guy the rest of the way. We'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, and we already know what some of the haters or I guess naysayers are going to say if he plays well. Well, these games don't matter. Like I just read off, there are some easy games out there. But, I mean, I'm to the point now, I don't care. I don't care if it's against the Jazz. I don't care if it's against the Pelicans. I want to see Keegan, because that's what we say about Trey Murphy. You know what I mean? And Trey Murphy is worth 2 first-rounders according to the Pelicans. So I want to see him ball out and show that he can be the guy. And I would say his focus now, especially getting DeAndre Hunter back, I would purposely play him at the 3. I would purposely see, can we play DeAndre Hunter at the 4 for next season?
Yeah.
I would see if that helps Keegan's ability to shoot the basketball. I would not, especially, you still got Precious on the team, too. I would not run Keegan at the 4 for the rest of the season. He can go back to it next season if you want, because it only
if you have to. Put him in the best position to succeed now.
Yes. This is the main focus. That is the number one priority. Because Nick Clifford and the young guys, sure, but they've also already gotten a lot. Keegan hasn't gotten anything out of this season yet. So that's where I'm at.
Yeah, and I think it is important here as you're building culture, you're figuring out what you have. Well, let's see if Keegan can take steps in that direction. It's been kind of a lost season for him. That's not a, be-all, end-all. It doesn't solve all of your problems, but it'd be nice to know that, all right, look, he's becoming the player we always hoped he could be.
Yeah.
And I don't blame the naysayers. I'm pro Keegan, but the people that they call and they, message us in the chat, and they say he's never going to be that good. I understand why they say that. I still think he could be, but I understand it because we haven't seen it yet other than a glimpse here and a glimpse there. And that promo we play endlessly about, hey, Keegan Murray is 37.
Been a while. It's been a while. Whitey, you're looking at 26 games. 26 games for Keegan to show what he can do. And obviously the first couple games he's going to get warmed up. So let's call it 20, right? 20 games, what's to the wall, and let's see what you can do. There's nobody in your way. Tomorrow, get a couple different opportunities. I don't know. Do you need to have a conversation with Russ?
We'll see.
The 17 and 21 minutes, you think maybe, hey, this is where we're going. It should be so obvious. And maybe Russ knows. I would like to believe that he knows, but hey, you know what it turns into?
He's got all-time scoring lists to climb up.
That's true. But you know what it turns into? Hey, we need you, this is where we really need you to butter the bread, where if Keegan is not being forceful enough, that doesn't mean that you just settle for threes. And Doug is obviously going to be a part of this too, but we need you to get him going, talk to him. Don't just say, well, Keegan's not shooting tonight, so I'm going to shoot. This is where Russ, that's why we're actually paying for you at this point.
Yeah, you'd love to see him run a lot of stuff for Keegan, but I'm not sure what they're running exactly. A lot of it is just, You
used to tell me, hey, Alan, I'm seeing some things that they're running.
Well, they used to run a lot of DHO and a lot of Zoom action, and they haven't run as much of that. Some of that was based on Domas being in there. So we'll see.
Now, no Zoom.
Yeah.
No
Not
Zoom
as much. It's still there a little bit. Not as much. I've been trying to figure out, doing research here, on how long is this going to take? It's unknowable, but how long do these rebuilds take? I stumbled across this. I want to see what you think of this. This is actually from 2016, and it's from a Nuggets site. And it's about the time that Denver started putting everything together. The 5 stages of an NBA rebuild. It's by someone named Zach McCash. So there's 5 stages of an NBA rebuild. First of all, do you agree with this? Second of all, what does it say about the Kings? Stage 1, which I think clearly we're in if you buy into this, bottoming out and acceptance. There's 5 stages of grief.
Yes.
And that's upside down compared to this because the final stage of grief is acceptance. Stage 1 of the rebuild is accepting. This is where we are. I think this is where we are, right, Alan? A team has to bottom out, obtain a high draft pick to build around if they're going to go full rebuild. You just got to acknowledge. And I think that's being done.
Yes. That is what this season is, and they'd be further along if they had better assets to move.
Stage 2, taking lumps with the youth. Whether it was the Warriors with Curry, the Sonics with Durant, the Cavs with LeBron, time and again, what is seen is after a team gains its prized draft pick, they still struggle to miss games and struggle to sniff the playoffs. So that's down the road for the Kings. That would be the next step. So you bring in whoever it is next year in the draft, and then you play them. Presumably your roster is younger next year, but you're not winning a lot of games still.
No, that is probably the easiest so far. That sounds like the easiest stage. Obviously, once you get LeBron James, the focus is developing LeBron James. So that, to me, is an easy one.
Well, it's easy in theory, but if you end up picking the wrong guy, then it's like you don't even know it yet. If you pick the guy and he's not as good, you won't know that for years, but you're actually doomed to fail. And you don't even know it.
Oh, you don't. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that's
like
what
a team coming in tomorrow, you could make the case.
Right, with Paolo, how, what's going on there. So I'm just saying, you don't know that that's a whammy. You're going to play them. There's not going to be any conversation there.
Yeah. Stage 3, a return to relevancy. Stages 1 and 2 happen somewhat naturally. A team's roster construction no longer works, so they start fresh, which almost always is done through a youth infusion. Now, to me, once you return to relevancy, in my opinion, the rebuild is you're there.
Yeah.
They have stage 4 perennial playoff contender and stage 5 championship contender, which they didn't know it at the time in 2016, but that's where that thing was headed in Denver. To me, maybe it's just because, being in Sacramento for so many years, the bar is low as far as what we expect. If the Kings return to relevancy in the next couple of years, I'll feel like, all right, they did it.
Yeah.
But according to this and according to Scott Perry, no, we have to do more than that.
But is that the case, though? Because we've never really heard what the metric of success is. We just keep hearing sustained success. So do we know that this is or isn't what he wants?
Wouldn't that at least be what they have here, stage 4 perennial playoff contender? If you really want to achieve, sustained success, don't you at least have to be a perennial playoff contender? Remember, the NBA, we lose sight of it here because the Kings have struggled so much. It's not that hard to make the playoffs.
Right, but are you saying that these stages don't represent how long until you have to reset? Is that what it is?
No, I'm just saying that to me, I would think if you get to stage 3, I would look at the Kings and go, all right, they did it. But in fact, these people say, well, that sets you up. You still need to become a perennial playoff contender, and you have to become a championship contender. I would like to think the Kings are aiming that high. I'm not sure. By the way, according to the author here, each one of these 5 stages takes at least a year to complete.
3 to 5 years.
Yeah, but 3 to 5 years, the Kings as a championship contender, sometimes it takes teams 3 to 5 years to get to stage 4.
Yeah. A team that made me think of this when you were going through the process, you know me. I don't like talking about OKC. We've gone back and forth on that, but I know that.
Why is that?
Just because I think the Shea situation is a white whale. I just think the Shea trade was an albatross. That's my problem with it. So
here's why I disagree. I understand your point, but they got him because of assets they had sent off that they had acquired by tanking.
Sure.
Yeah, and those things still had value, those players, when they traded them off.
Yes, and you're talking about the Paul George and and all that.
Yeah.
No, I understand, but just the very traditional idea of you drafted a guy because what they did after Shea with Chet and Jalen Williams, that to me is the more traditional part of it. But the team that I think of when you were reading that, that's the Timberwolves. That's the Timberwolves. And it's interesting because you start to forget the Karl Anthony Towns thing with Anthony Edwards, but they got the first pick in 2015. And, after that, they had I wouldn't say a stinker, but they basically missed with Chris Dunn. He was a 5th pick. So they missed with Chris Dunn in 2016. This could have been legendary for them. We'd have to relook, but they go Karl Anthony Towns, Chris Dunn, and Lauri Markkanen. But Lauri Markkanen got traded to Chicago. I don't know if they ever had the rights or whatever. After that, it gets real dry. 2018, they had the 20 and 48. 2019, they had the 11 where they had Cam Johnson, but they sent him to Phoenix. 2020, that's when they get Anthony Edwards. And after Anthony Edwards, they have not gotten, quote-unquote, lucky again, partly because they've been better. But after Anthony Edwards, they took Jake LaRavia in 19. They sent him to Memphis. And in 2023, they didn't have a first-round pick.
Remember, they traded pick 7 to the Warriors with Wiggins.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. So they traded that away.
Yeah.
And after...
For D'Angelo Russell.
Right. Yes.
It's a terrible trade.
Terrible.
Yeah.
In 2023, they had Jalen Clark. I know one of these seasons, what was it, 2024, when they get Rob Dillingham, who was a miss again, but they found their guy, and I know there are not a lot of Anthony Edwards running around, but it just goes to show how important that hit is because, Karl Anthony Towns is gone now, and Julius Randle is fine, but they got Anthony Edwards. They stunk. They got Anthony Edwards. They entered relevancy, and I would say they are a fringe championship contender. I have to call them that. They went to the Western Conference Finals the last 2 years. So that is the proof in the pudding, but there are not a lot of Anthony Edwards running around.
Right. To me, their rebuild has been successful, even though they haven't won a championship.
I agree.
Yeah, and as you said, it's been a bumpy ride, and there have been some mistakes in there. But right now, I don't know how long their window, if you will, is open, but they've done it.
They did it.
Yeah.
They did it. For it to be Minnesota, a smaller market, I think that is what you'd like to do. But again, yeah, if you get the number one pick and the number one pick is good, it's an easy answer. I think I like bringing it up because it's not an OKC situation, and I know they traded up to get Rob Dillingham. That was a miss, but that was still number 8. So it's not a situation where they went 1. We've seen some Whitey, and they did have it back in the teens, but they messed up with Chris Dunn and Lauri Markkanen. But it's not a situation where they got Anthony Edwards at 1. The next season, like the Spurs right now. I don't even like talking about the Spurs because they go 1, 4, 2, 6. That's crazy.
Yeah.
So I don't even like talking about them either. The Timberwolves, to me, maybe it's just unrealistic in a different category because it's Anthony Edwards, but at least it's you hit once and everything they've done around him makes sense. I think that's why I like it more so than let's just go be the Spurs.
Yeah.
Well, that you can't. There's one Wemby.
Yeah, there's one Wemby and there's one Ant, and both those
But
teams
then they got
the
Wemby
first pick, and then
and some. That's the difference.
And Sohan.
And so they threw him out. They said leave. They got Stephon Castle, and then they robbed the Kings of De'Aaron Fox. So I guess some of that is just good business. But I like the Timberwolves, and I'm not going to say model, but to me, they give off, I guess, the small market plan. Just get your guy, and like Memphis. I would say Memphis too, but and Memphis had some misses as well. But they got their guy with Ja. They had a good run. They didn't get as far as the Timberwolves have, but Ja's not as good as Ant. But that's what it is right there versus we're going to get 2, then we're going to get 4, then we're going to get 6.
What's impressive to me about Minnesota, and this is perhaps something that you got to keep in mind, they had, as you said, they got Cat and they got Wiggins and they got Zach LaVine, and they thought, wow, these are great draft picks. We're going to be good. And it didn't take, but they still stuck with it and went through almost like a double rebuild. They had to rebuild on top of that because it didn't work.
Right.
They still ended up in a good place, but it took them a long time.
It did.
Long time.
And they still might not leave with any hardware because that's how tough it is.
5 years from, okay, you accept how bad you are, and then you win a championship in 5 years. There's no way.
No, especially not where the Kings are coming from.
Your favorite Thunder, maybe you can.
I mean, because even going back to let's talk about the Rockets, right? Because the Rockets, Şengün, didn't he go in the teens or the bottom of the top 10? Şengün did. So Ahmed Thompson was top 5. But besides that, I think the Rockets are.
Jabari Smith was a high pick.
Jabari Smith was 3 or 5, right before Keegan or right after Keegan?
Wasn't he? He was 3, right?
Yeah.
Paolo, Chet, him.
So then, you got a couple different situations there where they
and Jalen Green, although
then
he's not there
Jalen
anymore.
Green, and that was Was it a miss because you got KD with him? So was it a miss or not? So there's a couple models, and obviously if you get Darren Peterson and he is that guy, it can accelerate things. But these models where you're throwing it at the board, we've seen it work, a la the Rockets. But even in those bites at the apple, you're gonna miss. I mean, they wanted Jalen Green was just good, and it wasn't just him, Dylan Brooks too, just good enough to be a part. And I know they had to give up some type of draft compensation to get Kevin Durant. It's just tough, man.
Well, it is, and it's something that we don't talk about around here because we don't like to think about it. But the way it has worked for teams is you double down. You're in the lottery, and even if you get a good pick, you're determined to get back into it. Maybe over a 3 to 5 year period where you're loading up on picks. We look ahead to, wow, maybe they'll get the Kings, that is, the first pick, and maybe that'll turn everything around. History says you need to hit on that pick, but you're going to need to hit on 2 to 5 more picks down the road, and that takes a lot of time.
Right. And again, the Timberwolves didn't necessarily have to do that because their hit was a big one. That was the roulette. You got multiple chips, and your number hits. But the chances of that happening are pretty low. Pretty low.
Yeah, James Wiseman, number 2 pick in that draft, of course.
Oh, my goodness. Eesh.
Yeah.
You know what? Can I say this, though? Because that was Halliburton, too, right? That was all the same draft.
Yep.
Yeah. At the time, I didn't blame the Warriors because they did feel like they wanted a center. And LaMelo Ball, who, by the way, got in a car crash today, doesn't look like there were terribly serious injuries, but the report was he got in a car crash in a Hummer and then left in a Lamborghini. This is not the first time, and I only bring that up because if you look at what the Warriors were supposed to do, I hate it when people say, oh, Warriors should have taken Tyrese Halliburton. They had the second pick. Can we stop? So I never
I'm not
really
gonna stop.
I never really.
I said it at the time.
I never really bagged on the Warriors. You were taking Halliburton too?
I was trading down. I was not taking Wiseman.
I didn't blame them for taking Wiseman. The same way I don't blame the Raiders for taking Jamarcus Russell. Because they needed a quarterback.
I don't know if I want to sit by you.
Well, they needed a quarterback.
That's a terrible way to draft.
But
we need this position, and that's the best guy available, so we'll get him.
I just saw a video of him at LSU. He was nice.
But that's a terrible way to draft.
Everybody, this is on camera. They can hear you.
He was nice at LSU. It was popping out of his hand. James Wiseman, and I'll never forget having the conversations. If James Wiseman can get to 35% from 3, it'll unlock the offense. I'm always looking to unlock something.
I did battle with a lot of Warrior fans over James Wiseman.
Skeleton key, baby. I'm always trying to unlock something.
So should the Kings take that into account when they're drafting? Like, what do we need?
Apparently
we
not.
Have Keegan, so we don't need a 3.
No, apparently
not.
We don't
need DeBonsa.
Well, no. I think it's different now. To compare sports is different because if you can always take a chance on a quarterback. That's why I will.
Well, we were just talking about the Warriors.
Yeah.
That's the same sport.
Let's separate the Raiders and Jamarcus, okay? I just saw that video a couple days ago, and he was nice at LSU.
All right, we'll come back to it. Can we do that?
Okay.
Yeah.
All
right,
right.
thank you. Yeah. And could Darren Peterson be going about this the right way after all? That's next, Sacktown Sports.
Download the Sactown Sports app.
Sacramento sports in your pocket. This is Sactown Sports 1140.
It's Carmichael Dave wanting you to join Capital Casino every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. in a safe, friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
When life calls for a little extra, a kitchen upgrade, paying off debt, or that dream vacation, Valley Strong Credit Union is here to help. With a Valley Strong home equity loan, you can tap into your home's value with competitive rates, flexible terms, and local guidance you can trust. Get approved in as little as 5 minutes, with funding in as few as 5 days. Your goals are within reach. Visit valleystrong.com to get your offer today. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 456506.
At Power Business Technology, we're not another big box corporation. We're your neighbors, locally owned and
and operated. We know what businesses like yours need. From reliable printers to high-performance copiers, we'll help you find the right solution with personal service you just can't get online. Need setup or support? We're just down the road and always happy to help. Power Business Technology, family hometown service with big-time solutions. Contact us today for all your business printing needs at 844-POWER-BZ. That's 844-769-3729 or visit us at powercopiers.com.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with AutoPay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sactown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Imran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sactown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sactown Sports.
Download the app and listen to The Drive Guys.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles.
On Sacktown Sports 1140.
Raider Ted says, word Whitey, everybody loves Keegan for the most part. They just want him to be more aggressive without getting hurt. Diesel Weisker, Keegan is lost. How long does the local media keep loving this dude? OMG! Director of Rec, Keegan is like our Obi-Wan Kenobi, our only hope.
I've heard so many stories about that fateful summer league because it was Keegan and the number one pick. Was that Paolo? It was Keegan versus the number one pick. Yeah. Paolo at Summer League. And they were going back and forth. And I think that Keegan, the reason fans have turned on Keegan is because he showed so much early that I remember doing calls my first year here and people saying, talking about the Kawhi leap, talking about a Jason Tatum leap. And when he seemed to have hit a wall, I think it killed the vibe for a lot of Kings fans, and it has now turned into anger because the reality is everybody's not going to be Kawhi, everybody's not going to be Jason Tatum, and now it's turned into, well, then he's useless to us, and that's not the case either.
Yeah, it was interesting because his first year here, he had a really good year, set the record for rookie threes made, and they had the Beam Team year. And then from the start of the next year, people were very disappointed in him. And he ended up starting, I think, slowly and ended up having a a decent year 2, where there was some market improvement in a couple areas. But to your point, it seemed like most of the fans, at least a lot of the fans, it seemed like most of the fans to me felt like, he has not delivered.
Yeah.
Just expected him to become the guy.
Right. Because that's the type of stuff. I mean, he was the
Number
fourth pick.
Number 4 pick.
Fourth pick. You know, it reminds me of an artist that comes out with a crazy song, right? And they don't want to be a one-hit wonder, but they may never catch that lightning in a bottle again, and they're kind of trying to work around, when do I release a song? And then they do, and then it's just not the same. Sometimes it's just impossible, Whitey, to replicate what that was, and I think he's suffering from it a bit. Another name, he's out in Sacramento now because things didn't go well. Remember when Tyler Fitzgerald on the Giants was Barry Bonds for like 60 games?
I remember when people like you said he was Barry Bonds.
I mean, he took over. He was the number 6 second baseman going into last season, and he completely fell apart. He was out there in Sacramento with me. And I believe, similar to Keegan, they achieved a level of success that almost harmed them because it was dang near unrealistic.
By the way, here we have from Joe Santos talking about the stages of the rebuild. We made it to stage 3 with Fox and flushed it down the drain. Stage 4 for us is not letting it go. Kings are a long ways from. Yeah. They're not even in stage 2 yet.
No.
Which is playing the young guys. And
they don't have the young guys.
Taking your lumps. Right.
They don't have the young guys yet.
Right. A lot of that will hinge on who they get in the draft. And I know Alan Stiles, of all people now, is suggesting, if I understand you right, Alan, you're suggesting that Darren Peterson, for all the criticism, may be going about this the right way?
Well, I do look at what's happening now, okay? You have Caleb Wilson out for, we don't know how long, but it's going to be a long period of time. And now you have the situation with JT Toppin, who JT Toppin is a junior. He's not a freshman. He's supposed to go low first round. And I'm sure there's injuries every year, Whitey, don't get me wrong. But I look back, and JT Toppin tore his ACL, so he's done.
Yeah.
And I look back, and I'm looking at Darren Peterson thinking, maybe he's on to something. If he has the ability to do this, are we looking at this the wrong way? Now, a flu, I know somebody on the text line said, hey, the flu has been bad this season.
Yes.
Now, that's a little bit different than an injury that you don't want to worsen or anything like that. But seeing 2 guys go down, first-round picks, I know, like I said, the JT Toppin early second-rounder, but 2 picks that were looking to make a lot of money. That's not to say Caleb Wilson won't. I could understand why Darren Peterson is saying, hey, this is why I'm trying to limit how much time I'm out there. That's not to say that he couldn't still get injured in the amount of time he's playing. That's not to say that it may affect him next season when he goes from, 30-something games to 82 games, but that's on the team to figure it out. Because we talked about that. Is he going to have to go into the season load managing?
He's played 14 games already this year.
Oh, my goodness. That's 14 games.
That used to be a full NFL season.
That's 2 weeks of games in the NBA. So I looked at it and I thought, some of these guys, the deeper they get into the season, they start dropping. Darren Peterson might look smarter and smarter.
In an interview with Seth Davis at Hoops HQ, Coach Bill Self of Kansas, he clarified what happened Saturday when, again, Darren Peterson didn't play many minutes and he was not very good. He was sick. He practiced the day before as much as he could. He went through shoot around the day of, still felt terrible. He went out to see how he felt in pre-warm-ups when we were doing our stretching and whatnot. People saw him do that. At that time, he went out there saying, I'm going to do it. Came back in when he didn't feel well. Head was pounding, all that stuff. And the doctor told me, Bill, no, he's not going to be able to go, end quote. So it is interesting that the coach is defending him as energetically as he is, which tells me that it's not a problem as far as a coach is concerned.
No. And maybe, again, that fateful text that was released or somebody was creeping on that we don't know who that person was. Maybe it was all kind of overblown.
Maybe. I'm sure if you're a coach, I'm sure it's frustrating, even if you knew that was going to happen. If, you got a big game and the guy's like, yeah, I'm not sure. Even if you knew that might happen, before a big game, if you're a coach, it's like, okay, fine.
Right.
You know?
Yes. I don't think they're and I always got to think of a random team here. I don't think Bill Self is reacting like that, allegedly, if they're facing Lipscomb. Like, I don't think that's the case, but that was, the number one team in the nation, and they still got it done, but they didn't know that was going to be the case at the time.
Yeah. Boy, they lose all the time now, though, Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, when it rains, it pours, and they lost one. And they haven't had Koa Pete, who we were kind of questioning, who are you, in the NBA or period. And now I think he's been out, and they've just been kind of all over the place.
Yeah. I saw another comp for my guy, Cam Boozer, and I don't know why he's not getting the recognition he deserves here. And it was, it was one of the ESPN analysts, Seth Green? Seth Green said, he's like Paolo Banchero to me.
Greenberg?
Seth Greenberg, thank you.
Former coach?
Yeah, exactly. He said, he's like Paolo Banchero to me. Paolo Banchero is one of the least efficient, high-usage players in the NBA, and Cam Boozer is very efficient.
Yeah, but
very efficient.
But is he talking about Paolo at Duke? Because Paolo was a dog at Duke. So that's a little bit different.
Cam Boozer's going to be better than Paolo. I'm telling you.
Well, that's a separate conversation for what is Paolo. But I want to ask you something, because you keep saying this with the whole idea of Cam Boozer needs to get more respect.
Yes.
He's not dropping off of draft boards, so I don't necessarily know what is it that you want. You know what it's reminding me of?
What is that?
The Brock Purdy situation, where it sounds like at some points people talking about the hate is actually more than the hate. And I know we are in Northern California, so maybe that's how I'm seeing it. But it felt like it got to a point where everyone's saying, Kurt Warner, you got to put some respect on Brock's name, where it felt like, okay, all we're doing is talking about putting respect on Brock's name. It feels like people are starting to put respect on Brock's name. Cam Boozer, everyone is saying, and we're going to talk about it later, everybody's saying, respect Cam Boozer. If everybody is saying that and he's not dropping down draft boards.
He's not rising either. Everyone looks at him like,
where you want him to go? You said DeBanza is your new guy, and Darren Peterson's.
Not what I said.
Darren Peterson's your OG. Where you want him to go, Whitey?
I think that DeBanza is a perfect fit for the Kings. I'm not saying he's the best player, but I think he's a perfect fit for him. And understand why the reports are that he's the guy they want. Cam Boozer still is a guy who's looked at as, he doesn't have the ceiling. He's a good college player. And just by comparing him to Brock Purdy, you have disrespected him.
How?
Brock Purdy was not. He was the last player taken in the draft.
Brock Purdy went to a Super Bowl.
No lower than third.
I'm using it as a reference. This whole respect.
And you actually inadvertently proved my point.
No, I didn't prove your point. When Cam Boozer starts slipping down draft boards, we can have this conversation. He is firmly in there at 3. Firmly.
He's being compared to Paul Millsap.
That's
Paul
an
Millsap's
NBA
a
player.
Nice player.
We just talked. So is Keegan Murray a miss at 4?
He might be. We don't know for sure yet.
If Keegan turned into Paul Millsap, would he be a miss?
At 4?
No.
Millsap was like 13 or something. No, because he was a multiple-time All-Star.
Okay. So if Cam Boozer was Paul Millsap, that's not a miss. That's not disrespectful.
It's very disrespectful. I'm telling you. This guy's a phenomenal player.
Then take him 1. Then take him. What do you want?
That's unthinkable.
Then
that's
take
my
him
point.
2. Then
no
take
one
him
even
2.
considers, maybe they should take Cam Boozer.
Whitey, then take him 2. Put him 2 on your big board.
He might end up going 2.
Okay. So you're dropping down DeBanza. Or Darren.
See, you're mixing up my arguments here. I'm just telling you, Cam Boozer's good enough to be considered at 2, maybe at 1. And nobody thinks of him in that light. And it's more like, he's okay.
You want him,
he's a safe pick.
You just want people to talk about him nicely, but you don't expect anyone to move him up the draft board because you yourself are not moving him up the draft board.
I was thinking of moving him, but you know what? I did say this, and I will walk this back if I can. A few weeks ago, I remember having this conversation with you right here, and I was saying, boy, DeBanza, I think he might slide a little bit. And I think he's played pretty well since then. It doesn't look like he's sliding at all.
I don't think so either.
Yeah, and I said that, and I admit it. I don't know if that's the case.
I do think you said that on the heels of that Kansas game because a lot of people were down on DeBanza.
Yeah.
And I myself included, but the reality was they were all over him.
The Kings get Cam Boozer. There's going to be of course they did. And I'm telling you, he's going to be an outstanding professional.
Yeah, and you'll be back. And you know what you'll be praying,
Brock
Whitey?
Purdy.
No, you know what you'll be praying?
Oh, my goodness.
No, I'll tell you this much. You will be praying to the basketball gods that DeBanza went back to be the good player that he is.
Went back to school?
To BYU, so you be back in the tank, and then you double up and get Cam Boozer and DeBanza. Then we're cooking.
If I was the one making the pick, which would, of course, be terrible for everyone, I would have a hard time picking DeBanza over Cam just because with DeBanza, there's a lot of things that you have to assume will be there. Like the shot, he still has a lot of room for growth. There's some things he has to do better.
Yeah. Probably
more than Cam Boozer. And that's that. There's the risk involved in
It's a ceiling.
He may never be as good as Cam Boozer.
And Cam Boozer is probably as good as he's going to be right now.
No. He's not even 19. Come on, Alan.
Look at the game. Look at his game. Take him then.
We are going to talk to James Barlo about the draft top of the hour. When we come back, look at let's talk about the 49ers a little bit here. Can we look at that? 49ers just added another date on their world tour, and we'll get back to the Kings and the NBA as well on this eventful day. So stick around. Drive Guys, Sactown Sports.
The only place you'll find Keegan Murray is Sactown Sports.
Out to Keegan Murray, straight away for three, and Keegan knocks down the triple.
Hey Sacramento, it's Keegan Murray, and you're listening to the home of Sacramento Kings, Sactown Sports.
Your local sports leader.
Growing your business? It's all about having the right team on the court. At Bank of Marin, we partner with businesses in the greater Sacramento area, delivering personalized service and local expertise to help you make a slam dunk. Whether it's customized lending or solutions to keep your business growing, you'll benefit from local decision making, expanding, acquiring additional assets, or building a lasting banking relationship. We're ready for tip-off. Bank of Marin, your local business bank. Visit us at bankofmarin.com. Member FDIC.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave. I got to tell you, I am so excited to get this decking project started with Trex Decking and Railings. From the first time I stepped foot in the showroom last week, I was so impressed. So many color options. Heat-resistant composite deck. What does that mean? That means I don't have to do any maintenance on it whatsoever. They even have a deck designer, so you can go online and see what your dream deck will look like on your house. Just visit Trex, that's Trex.com to get it started. Tell them Carmichael Dave sent you.
It's tax time, y'all. If you want to file free, this next one's for you.
Now taxes is so free. Tax-free edition only, roughly 37% of filers qualify. Simple form 1040 returns only. Now this is tax.
Love that jam. Up next, commercials.
Intuit TurboTax Free Edition. See if you qualify at turbotax.com/free. No schedules except for earned income tax credit, child tax credit, student loan interest, and Schedule 1A.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. If someone talked you into buying something really silly and you want to get out of that silly little thing, my advice, get the facts. Call me and I'll send you our timeshare exit kit absolutely free. Inside, you'll learn how timeshare works and all your options for cancellation.
Call Wesley now for your free exit info kit. 800-290-7100. That's 800-290-7100.
This month, Pure Talk is honoring Jackson and Lincoln by offering unlimited talk, text, and plenty of data for just $25 a month. Meanwhile, Big Wireless is honoring Benjamin Franklin by charging families hundreds of dollars for the same 5G service. What's up with that? Ben Franklin wasn't even a president. When you switch to Pure Talk, you'll be in business with an American wireless company that supports our vets in a big way and keeps all their customer service in this country. That's important. And you'll be on the same towers the big carriers use, so you'll get the same 5G service without the inflated price. So hang on to your Benjamins and switch to Pure Talk for a Jackson and a Lincoln. No contract, no hidden fees. Dial pound 250, say Mike Rowe, and you'll get 50% off your first month when you switch. That's pound 250, Mike Rowe, for an American wireless company that is truly unprecedented. Pure Talk.
The Drive Guys with Kevin Gleason and Alan Stiles on Sactown Sports 1140.
Jay, how long you been in broadcasting?
Man, let me count.
Couple coming up on 3 decades somewhere.
No,
2 and 3, 2 decades.
I'd say about 18 years or so like that.
Okay, so coming up on 2 decades.
Yeah.
I had a disagreement with a younger broadcaster. I want to see what you think.
Younger meaning by in the room?
I didn't say that. We're talking about the top of the hour and the bottom of the hour. You know, this is the last segment of the hour, right?
Yes.
Bottom of the hour is like 30, right? You got top of the hour and you got the bottom of the hour.
Correct.
Yeah. Not everybody sees that. This is the bottom of the hour because it's the end of the hour. It's like, no, that's top of the hour is like
It's
0,
all
0.
bottom of the hour.
Bottom of the hour is like the bottom of the hour, like 30.
It's all bottom of the hour.
Right,
this
Jay?
is part of the bottom of the hour.
Because he said, I got something. I know it's the bottom of the hour. And I said, no, it's not. He said, yeah, it is.
It's the end of the hour.
End of the hour. There you go. That's all.
I never heard the end before.
I didn't either, but you needed a term for it.
This is bottom.
No, the bottom is
bottom is 30.
The top and you got the bottom.
I got it. I got it. You know, it's just tomato, potato.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. It's hard for you youngsters because there were no digital clocks when you grew up, right?
It was, no. But also, it's because, obviously, our segments, how they're segmented out.
Right.
Right? If you were doing bottom, normally I would imagine you're going 30 until the top of the hour.
Oh, okay. Well, what did you have for us anyway?
Okay,
Actually,
so
I wanted to make sure I was right there when you said
no,
that.
I mean, it's semantics is what I was like.
No, it's not. There's right and there's wrong. This
Jay,
is not the bottom of the hour.
I need your help on this. I need Jay's help on this as well.
Okay.
Okay. So, like I told you, oldest kiddo is started daycare school a couple weeks ago, right?
Is she like kind of really smart and devious?
Too smart.
I've seen videos of her. And she has that look.
Yeah. She's too
She
smart.
looks
for her
really
own
sweet and everything.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I can see her like, ooh, there's stuff going on in there.
Yeah. You know, she calls. Everyone says the mini me for a reason.
Oh, okay.
So she's going to the school.
Bringing it back to you. Okay.
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, it's my seed. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm at school.
Who cares?
So I'm at school, and you know when somebody says something, but you're not really sure if you heard correctly or not. So it takes about, because I've been doing drop off, and it takes about a couple days here for me to realize that the teacher has not been calling me Mr. Styles or Mr. Allen. She seems to think my name is Larry. And at first I didn't know. And at first I didn't know. I wasn't sure, right?
Yeah.
Because you're running around. And she goes, okay, have a good day, Mr. Larry. And she keeps saying it. And I asked my wife, I said, hey, you know, what should I do? She goes, you got to tell her your name isn't Larry. And I don't know. It's just so awkward. So
no, you got to.
I drop her off. And she goes,
think your name's Alan Larry? Mr.
I don't
Larry?
know.
No, because she knows your daughter's name, right?
Yeah. So she says, okay, see you. Have a good day, Mr. Larry. And I just say, okay, thank you. It's just so awkward to me.
You have to say it.
Yeah.
Okay, well, what do I say?
It maybe is not something you say when you're like in the car and she's out of the car, but sometime when you're, hey, just so you know.
That is so
hand-to-hand combat. You have to say
it. Yeah, but she's going to appreciate it. Think how if you didn't say anything for a long time and then she found out, she's like, what a jerk. Why didn't he tell me? Maybe. I don't know.
I'm just hoping one day I walk in, there's another helper in there that I'm introducing myself, and I will just, kind of loudly say, my name's Alan. Yeah. So then she'll hear and say, oh, I've been calling him the wrong name. So every day I walk in, I hope I'm going to meet a new teacher.
There's nothing to be afraid of. She's wrong, and you're going to correct her.
I don't know where she got Larry from.
Yeah, well.
I mean, you got the tax place.
It might stick.
You got the tax place spelling my name wrong.
I know.
You got the teacher calling me Mr. Larry.
Yeah.
And maybe that's my alter ego now.
Yeah.
You're not going to like it when Mr. Larry comes
Whitey and Mr. Larry.
You have to tell her.
I know.
Yeah, I know. You know, man, by the way, I understand, and maybe you got it confused. That name is Alan. Totally get it. You've got, probably 20 toddlers running through here and many parents and people to remember. I think teachers can chime in, 916-339-1140. I think they would be okay in saying, oh, you know what? I feel so bad for that.
It'd be appreciated.
Yeah, I think they would
thank
you. Right.
Has this ever happened to you guys? Not just with a teacher, but hey, just so you know, you have my name wrong.
I think I've done it to other people, but I don't know if I've ever had it.
See, I've done it. I've done it too, and I'm trying to remember, did anybody ever check me and say, hey, that's not my name?
Mm-hmm.
I've seen, my name is so unique that most people like, what? What is your name? You know, people like, I have no clue. So they don't really forget it. I'll say this, and I don't think anybody in my neighborhood knows who I am, minus maybe one or two people when I say that. But our next door neighbor to this day calls my wife, her name is Jade. She calls her Jazz. She's like, hey, Jazz. And it's funny because I've told my wife numerous times, you've got her, tell her that your name is Jade.
Yeah.
And she's like, I don't know. And it makes it worse because my wife's sister name is Jasmine.
Oh.
So she's like, oh, no, don't call me Jazz. I'm like, well, then say something to her. You know, she's bringing in groceries. Hey, Jay, hey, Jazz. And I just die. Like, so I told her, you want me to say? And she's kind of sheepish like you, Alan. She's like, nah. So it makes you feel uncomfortable as the person, but you're uncomfortable in correcting that person.
Alan's going to make his daughter do it.
Yes, I am. Yeah, and she can't even pronounce her L's right now. So his name's Ayan, so it'll still be wrong. Either way, it ain't getting resolved.
Huh.
Yeah, Mr. Larry. Have a good day, Mr. Larry. How you doing? Then I walk in with her. How you doing, Mr. Larry? Good. I just say good.
So this has been going on for a while then.
The whole time.
And this is very clearly, she's like, Mr. Larry to you, looking you in the face.
There's nobody else.
Oh,
in
yeah,
there.
yeah. You got to say
it's
something.
It's a small class.
Yeah.
There's only a couple kids.
Dog,
Mr.
you got to
Larry.
say something.
Mm-hmm.
I think you would do everyone a big favor in saying, you know, name's Alan.
You could go in there like you were coming from some kind of function and have a name tag on.
Yeah.
And not say anything. It's hi, my name is Alan.
Yes.
And just wear that.
You know what? I'm going to buy one.
That's too much. That's too much.
I know him. And I know
I
that
like that.
Yeah.
I actually really like that.
Why do you feel bad for correcting someone who doesn't know your name? Why do you feel bad
I'm
about
just
that?
looking for a window because you're not talking. You're dropping off the kiddo, and that's it. So it's so quick. If I was having real deal conversations, I probably would. Like if it was a coworker or something. But because it's so quick, I have to essentially go out of my way. If it was natural, we just don't really talk a lot. It's, hey, okay, what are you guys doing today? Here's her backpack, and that's it. If it was a long conversation, then I'd say, hey, but by the way, but we're not talking every day. It's just, hello, Mr. Larry. Goodbye, Mr. Larry.
You could legally change your name to Larry. I mean, just looking at all options.
If I say Alan
like Commissioner Silver.
Does it sound like Larry if I say Alan Quick? I'm just trying to figure out where she got it from.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
She has you confused.
That's it. Yeah, maybe that is my name.
That's why you got to
correct. Is there a Larry that resembles you in any way at the school?
I don't think so.
Okay.
One of the other girls does always say, hey, are you my dad? And no, I'm not your dad. I just,
that's
what kind of atmosphere? What kind of atmosphere you got Baby Styles going to?
It's not. It's just,
It's a heck of an atmosphere.
It's not, it's, I probably resemble her father. That's what I'm thinking.
Whose name might be
Allegedly,
Larry.
right? Yeah.
Might be Larry.
Right?
I think we're getting to the bottom of this.
I mean, isn't that possible?
That's very possible.
Okay.
That's very possible.
Yeah.
Because I could definitely see if I could look like her dad.
Yeah.
So if his name's Larry, maybe there is a Larry.
Yes, there could be.
Wow. Thanks, guys.
I would go name tag thing, though.
I like that. I like that. I'm going to order one tonight and do it and have it bright.
I mean, what do you lose? If it doesn't work, you're right back where you are.
Jay wants
right
me
now.
to stand on business, but I might do this.
Mm-hmm.
It'll get done, Jay. Don't worry.
Larry Styles.
Yeah. When we come back to the Larry Styles show, James Barlow is going to join us at the top of the hour. All right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, the top, yes.
NBA draft, big board NBA draft junkies. We'll look at the prospects and who fits best with the Kings, what's going on with Darren Peterson, all that next. Sactown Sports.
On the move? Got somewhere to be?
Take Sacramento Kings basketball with you. The Sactown Sports app will let you stay connected to your passion. Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with the Sactown Sports app.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Granger. Granger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda. Yeah, your one-stop Honda shop.
Planet Fitness has everything you need anytime the motivation hits, so you can give everything you've got. With most clubs open 24 hours, you've got access to our best-in-class equipment to tackle early morning reps, late-night miles, and every workout in between. Join the club today and save $28 or more when you join for just $1 down, $15 a month. Cancel anytime. Deal ends February 27th. You ready? Planet Fitness. We're all strong on this planet. See club for details.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon.
Hello?
You won't believe where I am.
Are you running?
Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing.
Mom, how do you feel?
I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture, and then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
Your business moves fast. Your bank should keep up. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built for momentum with tools that help you manage cash flow, streamline payments, and fuel growth. Right now, there's never been a better time to switch. Open a new Valley Strong business account and get 3 months of business banking products and services free, up to $750 in value to power your next big move. Because when your business runs stronger, the whole Valley does too. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business, grow your future at valleystrong.com/business.
The other guys must think you failed math. Get this huge discount. Then the fine print hits you with $5,200 in mandatory ads. It's adorable in a scammy kind of way. At Hoblet, we skip the tricks. The price you see is the price you actually pay. What a wild concept, huh? Hoblet, family owned 77 years. Experience the difference online at hobletdodge.com.
Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration. The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
KHTK HD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sactown Sports 1140.
Live and local, it's The Drive Guys. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sactown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
Sabonis out for the rest of the year. Surgery on his left knee to repair the meniscus tear. Zach LaVine out for the rest of the year. So, and we've been doing this for a while as Kings fans, our attention turning to the NBA draft. We've all got questions about it. Let's get some answers. Nice enough to join us, NBA draft consultant from NBA Draft Junkies, James Barlo. James, thanks for your time. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. How do you have the top 3 prospects ranked?
It's funny you asked that. I mean, it depends on the day, but it is, if you ask me right now, I would say Darren Peterson, I would say Cameron Boozer, and then I would say AJ DeBanch number 3, but I don't think there's a huge gap between the 3 of them. if you land in the top 3, you won the lottery because it's that good.
James, how do you feel like Caleb Wilson's injury could affect his draft stock, if at all?
I had him slotted in at 4th. I think the injury, he did have a lot of steam going into that Duke game. He definitely outplayed Cameron Boozer, or at least played him evenly, depending on what side of Tobacco Road you're on. But I think that he's the 4th best player in this draft, but he has played a lot better in ACC play. Do I think he would have been able to crack the top 3? Me personally, I don't think so. I think the guys ahead of him are just a notch ahead of him, but he was definitely going to put up the effort to put himself in position to be a top 3 picker, in his mind, probably the number 1 pick in the draft.
Talking with James Barlo from NBA Draft Junkies. I wanted to ask you about Cam because there seems to be a perception, at least amongst fans here, James, about Cam Boozer that he'd be the safe pick, but he lacks the ceiling, doesn't have the ceiling of Peterson or AJ. I think Cam Boozer has a chance to be an outstanding player. Is that a fair criticism that he doesn't have the ceiling of the other two?
Well, some of that is just wing bias. If you turn on the highlights, you see Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you see Jason Tatum, you see those kind of guys. Jaylen Brown was the prior to SGA winning the Finals MVP. You look at that and you say, okay, give me a ball handling wing. That's obviously what Darren Peterson and AJ DeBanta are. But I think Cameron Boozer is like Blake Griffin in Detroit, where he wasn't as athletic, but he had turned himself into a really good shooter, and he was already a good passer. But I do think he is a franchise level talent. He may not wow you with the highlights, but like his bad games are like 18 and 10.
Yes.
He's going to be a good passer. So I feel like he's really, really solid, and he has the highest floor. Not to say that those two guys are like bust material or have that kind of like career trajectory, but you know exactly what you're going to get in Cameron Boozer, and I think he's a phenomenal player.
James, I think you hit on something that leads me into my next question with the wing bias. I know you see these types of memes all the time, but I saw a picture of Kingston Flemings and Michael Brown Jr., and the picture had writing that said, these two guys are going to get GMs fired. Okay, that's what it said. Do you see any bust potential with either of those guys, or do you think it's just a matter of people are not high on point guards these days?
Well, the point guard position is evolving, and you see like guys like Trae Young got traded for a bag of chips, right? They would have traded John Morant if they could find somebody. And then Darius Garland got traded for a guy 10 years older than him. So like the perception of the point guard position has changed, but at the same time, like if you look at Houston's struggles, a lot of that is point guard play. I don't think that those guys are bust. I think they're going to be really good players, and that's not me, a fan of the drafts and telling you everybody's going to be really good, but like the things that Kingston Flemings, the things that Michael Brown that they provide, I think they're going to be fine. And they're also, I believe Kingston Flemings is going to measure at 6'4". Michael Brown might be 6'4", 6'5". So they're not like smaller guys. Right. So like that was a meme probably made by an Arkansas fan, and Darius Acuff is their guy. I get it, but like I really feel strongly about where Kingston Flemings and Michael Brown will be in the NBA, and I think they're going to be really good point guards.
Darren Peterson, when he's healthy, he to me clearly looks like the best player. Kings fans dream of having the first pick, and the way the lottery works, they probably won't. If they have the worst record, they probably won't get the first pick. They might. Should Kings fans or fans of any team be concerned about Darren Peterson's sporadic appearances, in your opinion?
It is a fair concern to have. I'm a big Darren Peterson fan. Before the draft started, I was like, that's the guy. He's number one. He does everything you would want your shooting guard to do. And, obviously we have our wing bias. But at the same time, if there's not a long history, now the medical records are going to come out at the combine. Hopefully we get that information. Hopefully it's just something that he's dealing with during the season. I know it isn't to the same extent, but Paolo Banchero had some cramping issues at Duke, and we haven't had any of those concerns since being drafted. But from what I hear from people who are close to him, all he wants to do is play basketball. And this kid has been slotted in as a number 1, 2, at worst third pick for an entire year. He could shut it down. with all the money that's waiting for him at the end of the year. But he goes out there and he tries to play. So hopefully it's just a minor thing. But I think he's the best overall talent in this draft. And that if the medical records come out, I think that's the guy you want at number one, whether it's Kings fans, anybody, because he's that talented.
James, as we mentioned, 50-50 chance between the Kings getting 1 through 4 or 5. So let's just go, quote-unquote, worst-case scenario. What happens if the Kings get the 5th pick? If you were Scott Perry, who would you take?
So if I had the 5th pick and I look at the roster construction of the Kings right now, I'm not picking around any position. I mean, you're in this position for a reason. I personally would go with Michael Brown Jr. I think Michael Brown Jr. is the best point guard in this draft. Actually, I got to see him last night live. Louisville played SMU. I was at that game, and he's every bit of 6'4", 6'5". I think he's a very good passer, and I think that when he's taking good shots, he's making those shots. And you see the tear that he's on. I think he's averaging like 34 over his last 3 games. And he just, to me, he has the best combination of all the point guards in this class of size, getting to the rim, shooting ability, and playmaking ability. So, like, if you made a Venn diagram, he's going to be the guy in the middle versus, like, some of the other guys are going to be the other circles on the outside. So that's who I would take at 5 if I were the Sacramento Kings.
Catching up with James Barlo, NBA draft consultant from NBA Draft Junkies. It looks, James, as you may well know, it looks like the Kings, if they have a favorite right now, it looks like it's A.J. DeBonsa. We don't know that for a fact, but there are indications they really like A.J. Tell us about him, his game, how you see him projecting as a professional.
Well, he's definitely a franchise-changing talent. I mean, when you look back at 2 and 3 years of evaluating the high school level guys, he was the one that like stood out. And his game is so mature. And one of the things that he's done that to improve his game from high school / AAU is that he's grown so much as a playmaker. I think when he has the ball in high pick and roll, I think he's dangerous because he's 6'9". He takes tremendously long steps. And like I said, he's grown as a passer. He's going to have to improve his, I guess, maybe not improve, but he's going to have to change his mindset as far as shooting, catch and shoot jumpers, because right now he really doesn't shoot a lot. He's done a better job of it as of late, but I think he's a franchise level talent. He does need to improve on the defense end, but with him, it's not a lack of ability. It's just him putting in the effort in every possession, every night in, every night out to be a disruptive defender, because he has all the physical tools to do so. So I think if you land him at number 1, 2, or 3, if you're a Kings fan, I think you throw a parade because you have a piece. He's going to fill the stands, and he's actually getting better throughout the season. So I really like A.J. DeBonsa.
How about his handle? Is that an area in which he could use some improvement? He has a lot of turnovers.
So yeah, he can use some improvement, but if you say he reminds you of Jaylen Brown at the same stage, his handle is far greater than what Jaylen Brown's was at 19 years old, and he's probably not too far behind him right now, and he just turned 19. But some of that is doing a better job of reading the floor. I do think he has a tendency to favor the left side of the floor too much, and sometimes the left side of the floor is just stacked up. And when he, if he goes right or just reads the second line, because it's not about the first line of defense with him or even Darren Peterson, guys like that, it's the help defense. When he reads that second line of defense better, then those turnovers, they go down. But at the same time, like, I feel like with a player of that talent, the turnovers are going to happen because the ball is going to be in his hands. And he's 1A on the scouting report and 1B on the scouting report. And I think that that's something that you can work on, and that comes with just live reps as far as being having the ball in your hands. And he's had the ball in his hands his entire career, so I think that it's something he can definitely get better at. But as far as the handle goes, he has the talent. There's going to be some fine tuning, maybe not as much mid post play. I know he favors that spot right now in college, but that's not what we do in the NBA as much.
James, the Kings, as well as some other teams, might want to find a way to get another pick in the first round towards the bottom. Do you have a sleeper in the first round that if the Kings were able to trade some future draft capital to sneak into the bottom of the first, you would go with?
What are you looking for in particular? You got a particular position, or are you just saying a sleeper in general?
Just a sleeper in general. The Kings need it all, James. Like you said, they're here for a reason, so we'll take anything.
All right, so there is a big out of France. His name is Zachary Pirin right now. I feel like I'm the only one really talking about him, but he is extremely talented. Another athlete, another rim runner. He's not like he kind of reminds me in a way of what Yannick Conan Niederhauser has been able to show you as the with the Clippers with those minutes. But he's a very good passer. He's about 6'10". He's left-handed, and on those French national teams like that had Zachary Reese, who's struggling, but Alex Sarr is figuring it out. There were some other guys like Piran was the guy that was really really good. Playing right now for Alabama, Amari Allen is a real toolsy guy. He does a little bit of everything. I think he just turned 20. He's an older freshman, but he can guard ones, twos, and threes. He's shooting the ball really well. He's just a really good connecting piece that probably could be found later on in the draft. And it really depends on how far you are, or maybe in the early 20s. But like me personally, I have Bennett Sturts there. I think Bennett Sturts is a really good complementary point guard because he's a great shooter and is a very good decision maker. I wouldn't take him any higher because of the age, and I don't necessarily think he's a full-time point guard, but as a complimentary guard, I think he's really, really good, especially if you land DeBanza or Peterson early on.
James, all we keep hearing, or at least here in Sacramento, and if you look at any of the NBA draft big boards, is this is just about a can't-miss draft. If you're in the top 10, 15, you're getting quality. I've even heard some, as we were talking about, a sleeper in the back end of the first round. We all know they won't all work out, but I hate to put you on the spot. If you're picking somebody right now, who's the person that's getting some love who's like, yeah, that's probably the miss in the first round?
Ooh, he's trying to get my Twitter mentions fried right now.
Yeah.
That's interesting, but you know what though? I can't name a player, but sometimes it's situational. Okay, so here's a guy for you. And I think in the right situation, it could work. In the wrong situation, or if he's miscast, and you're like, oh shoot, what do we do? So Tunde Yesufa for Baylor. He resembles Anthony Edwards. He's not Anthony Edwards. Not even no. And then for Baylor's not a really good team. So he's asked to do more than what I think he should do in the NBA. Now he's probably averaging 18 a game, and you see him putting the ball on the ground, but it's not the prettiest. His game is more so based off of athleticism and just sheer will. He's going to need some fine tuning, but in the right situation, if a team says, you know what, I need you to get out in transition, continue to knock down, catch and shoot shots, and be a hustle guy, he can be really, really good. So his situation, to me, depends on his success depends on his situation. So in the wrong situation, or if he's miscast or something else, then we can be like, oh man, we got ourselves a lemon. But hopefully everybody plays well. So that's the PC answer I give.
That's a dangerous question, Jay.
Man, he set me up, man. But it's all right. I'm ready for whatever.
I know. That's James Barlo with us, NBA draft consultant. This is a two-pronged question, if I may. We're hearing this is a historically great draft. How long has it been since we've had one that had this much talent in it? And is it true, or is it premature to say next year's draft doesn't look great?
So a lot of people are comparing this draft to the 96 NBA draft. That featured, I believe, Allen Iverson, Kobe Bryant, Steve Nash. Marbury was in that draft, I think. I know Sharif Abdur-Rahim was in that draft. That's a former Sacramento Kings guy. So that is what it looks like right now. Last year's draft was really good too. But next year is not as obvious. So the way the draft works, somebody always emerges as being an all-star. You just in this next year's draft, you just don't know who it is. Now, Tyron Stokes is really, really good at basketball. I think Tyron Stokes is, if he were in this draft, he'd be a top 7 guy. He'd be a guy that would be flirting in that top 1, 2, or 3. If you saw him in the under 19s, like he was dominant in limited minutes. He's a very good player. But after him, there isn't a clear cut, this guy is an all-star. It's kind of similar to the 2024 draft where you're like, he might be okay. We'll see how this goes. But also with the 2024 draft, I mean, Reese is struggling right now. So it's like, this draft maybe a little bit better, or it's probably on par with the 2024 draft, 2027 draft, excuse me.
Yeah. And by the way, that 96 draft also, we had Ray Allen and Peja Stojakovic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A couple of shooters there.
Yeah.
James, this is a conversation or a question that's been thrown out, and I want to ask it to kind of set up how good this draft is supposed to be. It's the Cooper flag question, James, and everybody's saying, first Cooper wouldn't be top 10, and then you see what Cooper's doing at the NBA level, and I'm thinking, how good are these boys supposed to be? Where do you think Cooper Flag would be in this year's draft class? And I know it's tough because he's played in the NBA now and he's played very well, but I'm just curious how you would use him coming out of Duke specifically to compare to what this draft class looks like.
I still think he goes number one. Yeah. He does too many things to affect winning, and like his flaws that we thought he had this time last year. I remember when he turned 8, which is crazy. He turned 18 and he turned into a really good shooter. Mm-hmm. So you're already getting a good defender. You're already getting a good playmaker, and then he started knocking down open shots. And like I think that comment came out when he was like struggling the first 2 weeks, and then TNT was like, "Hey, let's put it out again to get some clicks." And I just can't co-sign that at all. But at the same time, like, if you look at Cooper Flag, who is like 19 years old, you look at this draft, and this is probably a whole different conversation. Like, American basketball at the grassroots level, as far as like the talent, like, is doing great. Mm-hmm. So like these guys, this wave of talent that we have, where you could say, with this guy who just had 40, who had a stretch of 40-point games, 30-point games against top tier defenders, would he be in the conversation of going whatever in this draft class that we have for 2026? It just goes to show that the kind of talent that we're developing in the country that we don't get credit for, because Jokic is Jokic and SGA is SGA and Luka is Luka.
Joins by James Barlo of NBA Draft Big Board and NBA Draft Junkies. Jaden Quaintance is somebody that I'm super interested in. He only played 4 games this year, bouncing back to Kentucky from Arizona State. What's your take on JQ?
I wish he was healthy. If his knees were right, he could be in conversation for 4th or 5th in this draft. The offensive game is extremely raw, but you have to realize he played last year at 17. He's a whole year younger than Caleb Wilson, and he's a sophomore in college. It's going to come down to the medicals for him. I think when I was evaluating him coming out of Arizona State into Kentucky, I saw a lot of Jalen Duren in his game. Jalen Duren also played at Memphis at 17 years old. And like, Quaintance can put the ball on the ground just enough. He's a really, really good defender, really good rebounder. He has 0 touch outside of dunking the basketball, but he was so young. Like, he projected out statistically to be one of the better defenders in this draft. I don't know what he's going to do, because I don't know what the knee looks like. I think if the knee is good, he's still a top 10 pick. If the knee is an issue, he can come back to school and still be 19 years old and probably be in the wide open draft, a top 3 pick. So it's like he has an interesting choice to make. I mean, money's always a factor in these decisions, but also in his case, it's health. So if he weren't hurt, he'd be in the 4 or 5 range for me. But the knee is an issue. You could tell he kind of rushed back, tried to help Kentucky out. I still have him in my top 10, but it's more so 10. So it'll be interesting to see what decision he and his camp makes this spring.
That's James Barlo. Great follow on X at Draft Junkie James. And we just have one more for you, James. Yeah, but I wanted to ask you, speaking of X, you have very interesting, as far as Kings fans are concerned, comp for Darius Acuff. Tell us who Darius Acuff from Arkansas reminds you of the most.
So Darius Acuff, I know a lot of people in his circle, shout out to them, they say Stephon Marbury. I'm old. So the first 2 athletic memories that I have of Stephon Marbury, he caught a lob in New Jersey and he dunked backwards. And it was like, he caught it and it was amazing athleticism. Marbury played off of 2 feet. He was an explosive 2-footed jumper. And there was also a play where he hit a pull-up 3 to beat the buzzer at half court, and he shot it like a 17-foot jumper. So I don't think Acuff is that level of athlete. But when I look at Acuff and I see his ability to shoot the ball off the dribble and control a team and push tempo, he reminds me a lot of Mike Bibby. And I didn't tweet that to thinking that you guys are going to talk about it on the show. I'm just watching basketball, and I'm like, you know what? He reminds me of Mike Bibby. So I like Acuff. He's somebody that's grown on me a lot since watching him play in high school and AAU. I think he and like AJ DeMenta have made some of the biggest jumps as far as what your pre-NCAA evaluations were of them to where they are now. So I think he's shooting lights out, and he just makes the right play every trip down the court.
James, we really, really appreciate your time. We'd love to have you on again. Thanks. We appreciate it. And enjoy the games. We'll talk to you soon.
Hey, let me know. I'll be here.
All right.
Thanks, James.
So how about that? Darius Acuff is Mike Bibby.
Yeah. Again, this is the second draft person we've had on here, and I think Whitey, I think you're afraid to ask a Kingston Fleming's question.
No, I'm not afraid.
I think you don't want to know the truth.
Well, I know the truth as far as James Barlo is concerned. I could see it right here again on X. He says, Mikal Brown Jr., I think he's the best point guard in this draft.
Yeah. So he said he would go Caleb 4, right? Or that's kind of what was inferred. And then he would be Mikal Brown Jr.
Who does he have 2 again? Who does he have 2? He has Peterson, and then who does he have 2?
Hey, at least James stood on business and he put Cam Boozer too.
Yes.
You wouldn't do it.
Yes.
You wouldn't do it.
I'm telling you, will you just listen to me? He's going to be an excellent player.
Then put him 2.
Great player.
James put him 2.
That's right.
Okay, so he's number 2 on your big board.
I think Cam Boozer's Brock Purdy.
I didn't say that.
Come on, Larry.
Come on, Larry. Larry the radio guy. Cam Boozer is on Whitey Gleason's. He's number 2 on the big board.
Yeah.
Lock it in.
Sure. Thank goodness for the intrigue in the draft, because now we have basketball to watch. I'm looking forward to watching college games tonight.
Yeah, well, last night I thought it was a bit of I was to the point now, especially with no NBA on period, but I'm to the point now where I was upset because I didn't really see, and maybe I missed it, but none of the big names that I, off the top of my head, played last night.
Yeah, like
and
Kentucky was on. I was like, where's Quaintance? And, he's hurt.
I was bummed because that's what we're doing now.
Mm-hmm.
Kings, like I said, you're on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
You're on the tablet. You're on the laptop.
Mm-hmm.
You can't get on the big screen. You get on Whitey's big board.
Are they gonna break that losing streak tomorrow night, Alan? I know we'll have lots of time to talk about it tomorrow.
They better not. Don't you do it.
They got a little cushion now, though.
Maybe this is the one that you win, as if it's that easy for them to do it. But this is the one, like we said, if you're gonna win, you have to use your wins wisely. I think you're right, Whitey. That would be pretty ridiculous for the Magic. They're not gonna have Wagner,
right?
Who's out, but I still think that would be pretty bad for the Magic.
Yeah, Sacramento now 3.5 behind Washington, and then also 3 more behind New Orleans. So you got like a 6.5 game cushion here on the bottom 3 spot. Then it's Indiana, also 3.5 back. So you got some wiggle room there. You can afford to win a few
Yeah, you can
games.
win this one, and then you're getting hit by the Spurs. The Grizzlies is going to be a weird game, even though the Grizzlies just hit them.
Yes.
Right before the trade, or before the All-Star break. So
the Grizzlies play like they're not tanking. They play hard. And I know they don't put their best players in necessarily, and they traded some guys, but the guys who play hard, and they play together.
Right. And I do think it all ended up looking, because you say that, the whole Tuomas Isalo thing.
Yes.
And Ja not. Remember there was a while where I guess the word on the street was other people agreed with Ja that they might not have been vibing with Tuomas, but they seem to be vibing now.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously they don't have the talent, but yeah, they play their butts off. And to your point, Whitey, you get a guy like Ty Jerome, who I would have been okay with this offseason, and they're running stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You have to make things easier, like Brock Purdy. You got to make things easier for your young guys. And I do think, to be real though, I do think Doug and the coaching staff, they should try to implement some stuff, maybe going into next season, to just make life easier on them.
Yeah. Well, you want what you're running to fit your personnel, and you got to figure out who it is first.
Right. Well, you got to get away from Russ Ball. No more Rust Bowl.
That's not happening.
Oh, yeah. You're stuck in it.
That's
You might get.
At least not this year.
Hey, Darren Peterson, it's nice to see you, but it's Rust time.
Kings are the NBA's worst team. Are they the most disappointing? We'll answer that when we return to Sacktown Sports.
You never know what you might hear when listening to a Sacramento Kings game.
Out of Keegan, going for another triple. Man, is he feeling it. Keegan, can he do it? Yes, there's number 11, Keegan Murray. Keegan steps back. He just knocked down his 12th three-pointer, a Kings franchise record. He's got 45 points.
Never miss a moment of Sacramento Kings basketball with Sacktown Sports and the Sacktown Sports app.
When life calls for a little extra, a kitchen upgrade, paying off debt, or that dream vacation, Valley Strong Credit Union is here to help. With a Valley Strong home equity loan, you can tap into your home's value with competitive rates, flexible terms, and local guidance you can trust. Get approved in as little as 5 minutes, with funding in as few as 5 days. Your goals are within reach. Visit valleystrong.com to get your offer today. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your possibilities. Equal housing lender, NMLS number 456506.
Have you tried my Colombian tamales?
Yes, but the Mexican tamales I brought are way better.
Colombian tamales wrapped in plantain leaves are unmatched, you know.
But the Mexican tamales wrapped in corn husks are the authentic ones.
At least we can agree that they taste better with Pepsi.
Without a doubt, tamales deserve Pepsi. No matter what tamales you love, enter for a chance to win a year's worth of groceries. Powered by Pepsi. No purchase necessary. U.S. residents 18 or over. Ends April 5th, 2026. Rules at pepsipromo.com/free groceries. Pepsi is a registered trademark of Pepsi Going.
Hi, this is Greg Papa. Disasters hit every day. If your home, business, or building has suffered from any disaster, SunPoint Public Adjusters can help. SunPoint prepares, presents, and negotiates your claim with the insurance company, working only for you, making sure you get everything you're entitled to and letting your focus be on what's most important, your family or your business. Call SunPoint today at 888-247-7865 or contact us at sunpoint.us. SunPoint Public Adjusters, the gold standard in public adjusting.
License number 2N14884.
At Stockton Honda, we know how to honor a great deal. Like right now during our President's Day sales event. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, you can find star-spangled savings on some of our best models. Why not stop in today and see for yourself? Come celebrate at Stockton Honda and get huge savings on our giant selection, plus top dollar for your trade.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Sacramento will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 916-277-8599. That's 916-277-8599. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Card collectors know there's nothing as special as a rare one-of-one card. And now you can hear a very rare one-of-a-kind sports card show right here on Sacktown Sports. Whitey Gleason here inviting you to join me and Mr. True Sports Cards himself, Imran Pilati, for the True Sports Card Show every Saturday morning at 10 on Sacktown Sports. It's the only sports card radio show in the nation. For all your hobby needs, get to True Sports Cards, 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland. And for hobby, insight, and fun, join us for the True Sports Card Show Saturday mornings at 10 on Sacktown Sports.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sacktown Sports.
Do you remember when State Farm had those commercials with NBA players? Chris Paul had, was it his brother or his cousin or somebody?
Cliff,
yeah. And then they had one for Steph Curry. They had their alter ego. So
yeah,
Larry Styles, here we go. We've got one for you.
That's true. I was going to say the Steph one lasted about a week.
Yeah.
And I don't know why it got pulled.
Right.
But it did not last long. And I don't know if I've always made this up in my head that Chris Paul said, hey, enough. Because this was kind of when the Clippers missed their window and the Warriors were on the way up. I feel like Chris Paul might have said, hey, State Farm, we can't be messing around with too many other, specifically, if it was a big or something, but I feel like Chris Paul had his agent shut that down.
Do you remember the Hooper family? Chris Paul was the dad. DeAndre Jordan was the mom.
Yeah,
Kevin Love was the baby. Kevin Garnett was like the grandfather.
Yes. It was like, where's my rings? Or was that the same thing when...
Oh, and Dame Lillard was the baby. Yeah.
Yeah, let's bring it back.
Mama ain't got no rings.
Right.
Baby ain't got no rings. Yeah. And remember Chris Paul, Kevin, where you get all them dimes at?
Yeah.
Dropping dimes.
I remember. Bring them back. It's better than, what was it? Not If I Ruled the World. The song that they made to make it a play on the All-Star.
Everybody Wants to Rule the World.
Yes.
Yeah, they did that to the World versus the NBA. Luka Doncic, Wembanyama. Click.
Yeah, this is where we're at now. How the mighty have fallen.
Uh-huh. Hey, we have some interesting thoughts here on the text line about the upcoming draft. Thanks again to James Barlo for joining us. You'll be able to see that in its entirety at SactownSports.com, I'm assuming.
That's right.
Yes. You can't get Boozer. I remember when it was the Murray draft, and they said Murray had already reached his potential, and we drafted him, and he hasn't gotten better. If the Kings have the top pick, you can't go out and get somebody with a very low ceiling.
I thought that was a good shout. You don't have to agree with it, but I did understand.
I don't agree with it.
Well, it's the same
Thanks
conversation.
for telling me I don't have to. I don't.
Well, it's the same conversation that we've been having. Are you trying? I don't think Cam Boozer's a home run. And a lot of people didn't think Keegan Murray was a home run. And a couple years later, Keegan Murray hasn't been a home run.
I wouldn't take him with the first pick. I would take Darren Peterson with the first pick. But still, it's that anti-Boozer, like, he's not that good. He's going to be average. And I don't think that's true. From the 916, we need to wait till the interviews. That being said, is Boozer Weber-esque?
I could see why they would say that.
Jay
what?
I was going to say, Jay.
Why?
Jay was not feeling that. It's a question, in all fairness to whomever asked it. LB and LV.
Body type. That's where I was going, Jay.
I think Weber was much more explosive athletically.
Yeah.
And he had great hands. I still think he's kind of underrated. He was a phenomenal player.
And the game has changed a little bit where a guy like Weber, if he were to come out now, he probably would shoot threes because you have to now. Back in those days, you didn't.
Yeah.
So it's never going to be mano-y-mano these days.
Yeah. Boozer's a really good passer. Weber was a great passer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Weber was phenomenal.
Weber would be a top 5 guy in the league almost right now.
He was great.
Dude is
and he got hurt, and then he was never the same after that, but he was a phenomenal talent. The Kings were just very fortunate to get him. Fell out of favor in D.C., and they're like, well, let's get this guy. You know, distressed assets, all that.
Well, even with the game being changed, Jay?
Yeah, man. If you go back and look at, I don't know, I was in 92 and 93. You're talking about 8 and 9 years old.
Mm-hmm.
But if you go back and look at film at Larry, excuse me, dude, the fact of when he came out, he wasn't a shooter. He wasn't known for a shooter. He was a rim runner, a slasher, dunk on you, aggressive, powerful. Yeah, like he had handle. You know, you go back to Michigan days, he'd run the floor. He'd take the pass from Jalen. And then he transformed himself very early into, I can hit the elbow. You can run the offense through me.
Just hit a bank shot, too.
Oh, yeah. Just a cold game. And that was slower Weber, as I use, air quotes.
Right.
Prior to his knee, like you said, Whitey. But if you look at the Washington and the Golden State Weber, oh, man, there's not many people who's going to deal off his ferocity. Like, his ferocity was crazy.
Because he had power with finesse.
Yes.
Power and polish.
Yes.
He could overpower you, but he didn't have to beat
fundamentally
you.
sound.
Yeah.
I mean, I would ask you, what didn't Weber do very well?
Yeah, I mean, maybe you could say he didn't have an outside jumper, but he wasn't supposed to.
Didn't have to.
Yeah.
We would see now.
Right.
I think he had the form. It was a little slower, probably as his career went on, But the way some of these guys, like I remember talking to a couple of scouts. I don't even know if I'm supposed to say this, but I was in a NBA draft workout a couple of years ago here from a guy who's in the league that shoots slow as I don't know what. And I remember people saying, I don't even know how this dude's going to get this shot off in the league. And this dude is shooting very well and has shot very well through his career. And I remember talking to people because they played in the 90s. They played in that era where, you had to kind of get that shot off a little quicker compared to now. Man, Webber would absolutely – I challenge people, who's sticking him right now? Like, who's going to stick Webber right now?
Yeah, I know what you mean, because no matter what kind of player you put on him, there's a good chance there's a little bit of a mismatch there. Yeah.
I mean, he's abusing people. Either version of Webber you want. You can take the early Webber or you can take the late Webber. And I say late Webber is in Sacramento Kings Webber.
Great hands, too. Great pass, but also great hands. Yeah. So, anyway.
Look at Jokic. Jokic is dominating. He's not even a 16th of athleticism that we see from Webber.
Nobody's a better player.
See, I think he fits the era better because he's a shooter. We don't have the opportunity to see Webber shoot threes. But as far as Webber's on par with the passing of Jokic. He's way more athletic. He can dribble way better. I mean, I just think it's, Jokic's era is right now.
What do you got, Alan? Larry, sorry.
So are you saying, Whitey, that is that where you draw the line for Cam Boozer?
Cam Boozer's not Chris Webber.
No,
I'm just,
it's a fair question.
Because this is your guy.
Yeah, that's a fair question. Lair Bear. Someone says Lair Bear.
I shouldn't have said
I got to stop doing that. No, I'm glad you did.
I know you are.
Really glad you did.
I know you are.
We've helped you. We gave you a couple of possible solutions.
I got a couple ideas now.
Yeah.
I got a couple ideas.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, Larry's the other girl's father.
I think so.
Yeah.
I can't believe we figured it out. But
I can't believe you didn't.
Yeah, I don't know.
Did you and you just didn't want to say? Or?
No, I mean, she just is like coming up to me every time I walk in, and my kid is gone. My kid's gone playing. I'm like, hey, see ya. I'll see you later. Okay, bye. And this other girl comes up to me, and she's following me around. The teacher's like, hey, it's not your dad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
You love this.
That's probably it.
You love this.
Probably it.
Larry.
Her dad is Larry.
Her dad's Larry.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
Who's the most disappointing team in the NBA this year? It is not the Kings, is it?
I have that answer.
They're the worst team, but I don't think they're the most disappointing team.
I have that answer.
Really? Do you have a list or just one?
You need me to say it now? You
no,
want me to say it now?
We can save it.
There is a list, but there's a team that is glaringly on the list.
We'll get to that when we come back. Also, let me throw this out there. Don't look now, and I hate to be, negative on this day where we got such bad news on the Kings. The Kings are working on another playoff drought, believe it or not. Only 7 teams have longer playoff droughts than Sacramento's current playoff drought. I know it's only been 2 years, but some of the teams that have longer streaks, San Antonio, Charlotte, Portland, Washington, Utah, Toronto, Chicago, some of those teams are probably going to break that streak this year. And the Kings next year, if they go 3 years without being in the playoffs, that actually becomes one of your longer streaks without being in the playoffs in the NBA. After 20-something years, they made the playoffs. Now they're working on another streak already, Alan.
Is that an argument that the play-in is working in some capacity? That's a lot of teams getting playoff opportunities.
I don't know. It's a good question. Have to look at how many teams actually made the playoffs through the play-in. We know the Kings didn't.
We know the Heat did.
Yeah. But we'll look at Alan's most disappointing team in the NBA this year. Is it the Kings? We'll find out next. Sactown Sports.
The San Francisco 49ers play on Sactown Sports 1140.
Touchdown 49ers! Every game on your #1 sports station. Don't miss the action on your local sports leader. Sactown Sports 1140.
At InShape, we have a place for every kind of mover. The Sometimer, the early riser, the after-work grinder, the yogi, lifter, bodybuilder, walker, runner, swimmer, spinner, stretcher, rower, climber, jumper, dancer, boxer, sauna seeker, recoverer. Basically, if you walk, lift, stretch, or sweat, you belong at InShape. So whether it's your first time or your first time in a while, start the year strong and join today at InShape.com. Find a location nearest to you.
Running a business takes grit, vision, and a partner who believes in your success as much as you do. At Valley Strong Credit Union, business banking is built around you, the entrepreneurs, the growers, the dreamers, powering our community. Whether you need flexible checking, faster payments, or financing to take your next big step, Valley Strong brings local expertise and real relationships to every stage of your business. Because when local businesses thrive, the whole valley grows stronger. Valley Strong Credit Union. Grow your business, grow your future. ValleyStrong.com/business.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
Well, what other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Granger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Why'd I go to the doctor? Working on the farm, my heart kept skipping a beat. I didn't think much of it, but my daughters made me get checked out. Turns out I have atrial fibrillation, which increases the risk of stroke about 5 times.
Symptoms like irregular heartbeat, heart racing, chest pain, shortness of breath, fatigue, or lightheadedness can come and go. But if it's AFib, the risk of stroke remains. If you have symptoms, contact a doctor.
I'm so glad I did.
Visit notimetowait.com. Sponsored by Bristol-Myers Squibb and Pfizer.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
How far do you hit your 7-iron? The answers will tell you which tees to play, according to Josh Sens in Golf Magazine. Deep down, you know you shouldn't be playing from the tips, but it's common for golfers to play from too far back. Aside from higher scores, rounds become a grind and golf becomes much less fun. After several years of research, the USGA unveiled a new data-driven offering to find the proper tees called Best Tees. If you know how far you hit your 7-iron, Best Tees will tell you which tee boxes to play. A typical male golfer should be playing from 6,100 yards and a typical female golfer from 4,400 yards. Most players have a good idea of their 7-iron distance, with average male's distance of 138 yards and average female's of 100 yards. Throw out the occasional perfect shot, which travels more than those distances, and concentrate on your average. This will allow you to reach the vicinity of most greens in regulation and let you hit a variety of clubs on approach shots. Leave your ego at home and give it a chance. You'll have more fun. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Hurry in and save big during Honda's President's Day sales event at Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.
Hurry in and save on our best selection of new Hondas. Each is priced to sell now. Folsom Lake Honda is your one-stop Honda shop for great pricing on a giant selection of new CRVs, HRVs, Civics, and Accords with low finance and lease options. Plus, get an instant cash offer for your trade. Get to Folsom Lake Honda or go to FolsomLakeHonda.com.
Folsom Lake Honda.
Your afternoon home for Kings talk and so much more. The Drive Guys on Sactown Sports.
So we got the news today that Sabonis is out for the rest of the year. He's going to have, or had surgery today. Was it today, right? It was today, the surgery for him and LaVine.
Today.
Yeah. So Zach with the finger repair out for the year, and then Sabonis with the meniscus repair in the left knee, so they're out for the year. Dylan Cardwell sprained his ankle in practice yesterday, going to be reevaluated in 4 weeks, but Keegan should be back soon tomorrow, and looks like DeAndre Hunter will be back soon. We also have word that Steph Curry's knee is apparently not getting better as quickly as he would like it to, and he may have another MRI.
Not great. Not great. The last couple years for the team out there in the Bay, it's just...
Oh, they're excited about the Zinger, Porzingis.
Okay. But for the 4 games he's going to play, great. I don't even know.
He's a unicorn.
Are they going to make the playoffs?
I don't know. I wonder if they even want to at this point.
They're the 8th seed right now.
Depending on Steph's status.
They're the 8th seed right now. They're up 2.5 games on the Blazers. That's not good. That is not good at all. I think the Porzingis fits a role, but it's not going to – what are we
I don't know.
doing?
I really don't know what they want. Do they want to end up in the lottery now and then go after Giannis or – Excuse me, I'm not sure what their thing is. By the way, I shouldn't have to mention this. I don't have to, but there is a fake, it's a parody account on X. It even says satire account. And on this account, there's talk of, Darren Peterson doesn't want to go to Utah or Sacramento. And it's a fake account, so don't worry about it.
Yeah, I mean, we're, 3 years into Elon's Twitter? Just check. If it looks sketchy, just check. Because that stuff still takes off to this day. And I think early on, a lot of us were getting got because, they have professional looking pictures and they got followers.
You have NBA Central, you have NBA Centel.
Yes, but now I don't even think about posting anything or reposting anything until it's been thoroughly checked. And that maybe for me, because this is our job, it's a little bit different. But even for you out there, if you want to double check something, I'll tell you this much, though. As bad as Elon's Twitter has gotten, it ain't nothing like Facebook. Facebook, you will see stuff that is just blatantly not true.
Oh, yeah.
Just blatantly not true. And I don't know who cooks up these posts. I don't know if it's all AI. Like, there'll be a picture of Denzel Washington and Damson Idris, and it'll say Denzel with his son. Like, straight up. I saw one that said, with Simone Biles and her husband, they were pregnant, and they weren't. And Facebook is crazy.
Right.
Crazy.
Yeah.
So, and I have a buddy that is only on Facebook, and he'll send us stuff, me and his brother, all the time. Did you guys see this? No, dude, it's also not true. It's not true. So he vets it now. You got to vet this stuff now, Whitey.
Yeah, I know. I've seen stories that didn't seem true about celebrities on Facebook, and then a few days later, the same exact story with different names. It's like, wait.
Yeah. I don't know I don't know if they're getting paid for this via clicks. I have no clue why they're doing it.
Alan, who's the most disappointing team in the NBA? Is it the Sacramento Kings?
It is not.
I agree with you.
It is a team that they're playing tomorrow.
Orlando, the most disappointing team?
The Orlando Magic.
28-25.
They are the 7 seed.
Game and a half out of the 6th spot.
No Tyrese. No Jason Tatum. They go out. I know not all those firsts were great firsts. They give up all those firsts for Desmond Bane.
Yep.
And they're the 7 seed in a down Eastern Conference. No Bucks to worry about. Like I said, some of these other Eastern Conference teams, the Heat are just the Heat. And, again, no Tyrese, so you don't have to worry about the Pacers, the Bucks.
The door swinging open in the East, and they can't get out of the chair to get up and go through it.
They let the Sixers come back from the dead, and they're in the 6th seed, and they let the Raptors basically leapfrog them. I'm not even going to bring up the Pistons because that's the random, the random hitter that got hot. But the Raptors and the Sixers have no business leapfrogging you. And Whitey, honestly, the way the Hornets went into the All-Star break, the Hornets could catch them. No Franz Wagner. This is a disaster.
Yeah, I would also suggest that Cleveland, even though they're playing better of late, they've won 5 in a row, they've been a disappointment thus far because they had such a great year last year, but not as disappointing as Orlando.
I will disagree on Cleveland simply because I liken what they did last season to a version of what we talked about with the Beam team.
Right.
That was just we are on one this whole season.
But I still think it's disappointing for them.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think the Warriors have been disappointing overall.
That's a good one. I guess it depends on what you thought they were going to do, and I didn't think the Warriors were going to do much. I did think the Magic have been the sexy pick in the East for about 2-3 years now, and they've done absolutely nothing. They've tried. KCP didn't work. Now they got Desmond Bane out there. They can't stay healthy. Paolo's regressing. it's a mess out there. So I got the Magic.
I want to say the Lakers have been disappointing, but they're the stinking 5 seed right now.
They're the 5 seed, and they're only a half game behind the Rockets.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Only a game and a half behind the Nuggets, so you can't say them even if you wanted to.
Houston, perhaps to a degree, has been a little disappointing, but they are a top 4 seed, and they've got a long ways to go. The Kings, I just don't think expectations were high enough for them to be, as dismal as this season has been, one of the more disappointing teams in the league.
Are we glossing over the most obvious pick? Is that the Clippers?
I don't know.
After that all-season?
They got off to the terrible start. Then they were great.
Yeah, but going into the season, wow, I mean, you got John Collins. You added a lot of pieces. I think,
know, but they were. You added Bradley Beal.
And Bradley Beal. Yeah, that's right. I forgot.
And the All-Star game is going to be here.
Yeah. The wall. There's a wall. Yeah. And then the trees happened. And
maybe they are disappointed there, but I wasn't. I didn't put a lot of stock in them.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that they are probably top 3 disappointing team. Everybody, they made all those additions. I think a lot of people thought the Unk Show was at least going to have a run at it, Whitey.
But there is a team that we're missing that's obvious. The 12 seed in the East currently, the Milwaukee Bucks, 23-30. And now they're looking at Giannis. What did he say today? If it was up to me, I'd already be gone? What are you talking about?
I gotta thank Giannis. Because sometimes I get stuck on my couch, right? You just want a little bit of quiet time getting ready for the show tomorrow. And my wife will go upstairs, and 11:30 turns to 12, 12:30 turns to 1, whatever it is. And Whitey, I'm on the couch last night. It's about 12:30, 12:45, and I'm stuck on my phone in a black hole. Giannis's interview with Malika popped up. Oh, my goodness, I never got up faster. I was so turned on. I just saw him on the screen. Whitey, I got up and got at least a decent night's rest. So I want to thank Giannis, because every time I see that man on my screen, I just turned off my phone and went to bed.
Yeah, I would say they are number 2 behind Orlando for most disappointing.
I like that. I don't know if I just wasn't really high on them, similar to the Warriors, so that's not my initial thought. But you'd have to put them simply because they're so bad.
12th right now.
It's not. Yeah, it's not about a championship.
And they still have him.
Is there a question about this whole Giannis thing and his price tag just because of the type of player he is, and he is dinged up a decent bit? I know these seasons are difficult to diagnose because you're not really playing for anything, but are there a good amount of teams out there that think over 30, he's so based on athleticism, I can't give up what the Bucks are going to want? Or would you say because of the injuries, could that price tag come back to life a little bit?
It seemed like the market shifted this deadline. There were players that we thought were worth at least 1 or 2 first rounders that weren't worth any when push came to shove. So how's that going to impact Giannis going forward? He's a guy that you'd think would be worth 4 or 5 firsts, right?
In theory.
You look at what, as you said, Desmond Bane got. What he netted Memphis and Mikal Bridges. But I think those days are gone. I think with the new CBA and various factors, teams are just not willing to pay that much anymore, even for Giannis. But he'll be an interesting test case. I don't think he's going to bring back what we would expect.
Yeah, and I'm trying to confirm here. If you figure, and I'm just reading it quickly, they got 3 first-rounders for Jaren Jackson Jr.?
I don't know.
Okay. I think that's
one of the... That's pretty good.
It was something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But Jazz acquired Jackson along with John Conchar, Jock Landale, while sending Walter Clayton Jr., Kyle Anderson, Taylor Hendricks, and 3 first-round picks to Memphis, and Walter Clayton. So if Jaren went for that...
Yeah, but it depends on who the buyer is too, right? I mean, Utah's in position where they could do that.
Yeah, that's true. 3 future firsts, and I'm sure all those future firsts aren't great.
Yeah, but that is, you put a dent in my argument right there. That is a lot.
I didn't realize Walter Clayton, your boy Slow-Mo. I don't know why he's your boy. And 3 future
firsts. He's my boy because one time my nephew was at a game that he was playing, and he said, hey, Kyle Anderson. And Kyle Anderson looked at me and he said, you can't shoot.
Is this the same nephew that's the mixologist?
No, different nephew.
Okay.
Different nephew.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, thanks for being with us. Thank you, Jay. Thank you, Alan. We're back tomorrow, and we'll be setting the table for Kings basketball. How about that? Can't wait. Yeah. I can't wait for this. Golf to go. It's coming up next right here on Sactown Sports. 4 left. Look out. Sorry, Frank.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Granger. Granger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Progressive Insurance knows pets, and one of the biggest differences between people and pets is that we don't eat things off the floor. But dogs definitely will, and it makes them so happy, no matter what it looks like, smells like, or what state of decomposition it's in. We all want to go through life that carefree.